Greetings. Welcome to Wake the Dead. Today we are delighted to continue our deep dive into the Satanism and occult and anti-human actions and evidence that has been revealed to us in the Epstein files. William Ramsey and Hans Utter are both here to join me today. And we're also broadcasting on Hans's resident state and William's channels as well. William Ramsey Investigates. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Hey, great. It's really appreciate it.
But hopefully under better circumstances, seeing that the war started and all this stuff's happened since our last show.
You know,
It just keeps ratcheting up every time. It's like, holy crap, this is happening now? Whoa.
Well, what's amazing is, in a certain way, when we started this thing, initially it was just going to be like maybe two-parter looking at the movie The Manchurian Candidate. And as we, segue into the Epstein documents, so many parallels, but then look at the events of history, the events unfolding in events that have never happened before, right? Maybe they happened in Atlantis, but they didn't happen in Western civilization or whatever. With the Epstein files release, Charlie Kirk being this symbolic, almost like the king kill, right? If you look at, and I'm sure you look up, we can check latitude, longitude, but like JFK assassination, even though Charlie Kirk, whoever, whatever he was, he, obviously had some ethics, had a lot of power, had a massive organization, and his death leads into this war. And with the various governmental officials, with our commander in chief, increasingly becoming almost a non-human entity. Like, who is this guy? Like, what planet is he on? You know what I mean? Like, it is really reached a point where, okay, oil prices, world economy being shattered, etc. But let's dive in, because we are on the cusp of history, and I truly hope that some voices of reason are going to prevail, because we could literally be, for the first time in history, looking directly at World War III.
You're right. It's really amazing. Like, it's really incredible. Like, they're not backing down. It's the escalation ladders going on. There's weird earthquakes in strange places in Iran and the United States and Nevada. There is a very sophisticated guy whose name is Davis. There's another dude who works in the military who says that there's specific planes that have a specific frequency that's able to fly over the oceans, and that frequency is enables that plane to communicate with deep sea submarines. And the only reason they have that plane is so that somebody can reach the plane and the plane can reach the submarines to give commands. And that plane is active and giving the information to the submarines. So talk about the cusp of history. Like, we are there. Like, what information do these Minuteman missile submarine carrying submarines need?
There's a new shortwave transmission that showed up. There's a number channel, I guess it's called, where all the major states have had them and have been running them, but now there's a new one that just popped up. And so there's things that are happening for sure.
And William, you mentioned that the planes. Well, you mentioned earthquakes. So this technology has been developed, has been known about, some of them for thousands of years, in terms of creating a specific frequency to generate an earthquake. All right, so. But basically, what the Tesla discovered, and it's very well known. You talk about the magnitude. You look at the fault lines. You literally just you put a particular hertz type of frequency at enough amplitude. If you at a fault line, even on the ocean floor, you can activate that fault line, and that can go up and cause an earthquake. So even the airplane and the submarine, if they have triangulation or phase array type of signal amplification, very easily can cause earthquakes. And this, again, very well known about, nothing mysterious whatsoever. I mean, it's right there. You just cause the earthquake with, and it's much less invasive than other types of weather warfare, actually.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. I mean, Trump is hinting too that a lot of the a lot of the low level military stuff has already been used, but he's saying that he has medium to high level weapons that he hasn't deployed yet. So whatever those are, I mean, you talk about HARP stuff or who knows, space lasers or
Iran's having
space.
earthquakes right now. They're having
Pardon me?
earthquakes. They're having
Yeah,
earthquakes.
right. No, right. No, I know. I'm aware of that. Yeah, you're right. So,
And what's the depth of the earthquake too? Because I mean, I know that I've heard that the HARP machines can do earthquake effects on the, if they're like only 7 feet deep or something under the Earth's crust, it's evidence of it being from these machines. They can make an earthquake, but the the depth of where it happens on the crust is not very deep. Maybe we could look that up.
Well, so this, I mean, it depends. There is specific structures, right? So you basically have a lot of kinetic energy that's stored, right? So, and if you have the right entry point, right? If that's mapped and modeled, you can get a very deep effect if that's done again with enough amplitude, with enough
Right.
power. And Tesla's doing this 1915. It's and earthquakes have been caused by other things that have actually caused earthquakes, right? Through sound, this and that. So, yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, when
Yeah.
he's acting super crazy, Trump is, so it's like not good. He surrounded himself with yes men, and
Is France gonna do? Is France falling apart? And is there like other fallout in the world? I think I heard that.
it's gonna create just this kind of like you drop a pebble in the pond. It's gonna do that because
Right.
once oil prices, that's the foundation of everything, food, travel. So then they're going to pose costs. It's going to disrupt economies, and if it stays that way, it's going to go. And the Iranians are. Why would they stop fighting?
Right.
They don't make. They've already done that before, and then they just came back and hit them. So that's the whole thing. This kind of global agenda of the New World Order. It has to be seen as the New World Order that includes Venezuela, Russia, Iran, is to kind of hollow out these countries. You see it in Venezuela and Ukraine, where they kept the country. They didn't invade the country. They just overthrew the decapitation strike, overthrew the core and inserted their own people. That's what happened with Zelensky, who's tied to Epstein in a really bad way.
oh yeah,
That's why the
right.
Epstein files are so important, guys. The Epstein network.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean Zelensky playing the piano with his Johnson, with his compatriot. But I mean the Ukraine war. So this Iran war is part two of the Ukraine war. Ukraine as being another nexus of human trafficking, as well as I would posit that it's even before the war started, just like this war. Okay, U.S. can you with the stated objectives, and everyone should call to mind the fact that during the 7-hour negotiation prior to the attack, the surprise attacks, they literally agreed to everything, including not funding Hezbollah, etc., including eliminating missile program. They literally finally just said, okay, we'll do anything you want, just let's not have this war start. And during that, when they acceded, the attack happened. So
that's exactly what happened with Iraq, with Hussein, if you remember. He agreed to all their things, but that wasn't the point. The whole negotiation was just a fait accompli. It was just a joke. They were having fun before they were going to go in. The decision was made. So at some point, the Iran decision was made. And I think they busted Barron making puts on oil or whatever. So he had to have known a couple of days in advance.
But I think we cannot disregard the fact that I say the Ukrainian war is a war of eugenics or genocide or a war of dysgenics. They're just depopulating Ukraine because it's known in the beginning that Ukraine will not win. Doesn't matter. Maybe the war goes on for 20 years because it is on Russia's back door. Russia is a much larger country. You know what I mean? People don't know they took over they took over Russian speaking parts. They were murdering people. I mean, Russia was very patient for a long time. But the fact is that the outcomes were known that, I mean, pretty much there's no way Ukraine can win. Win what? Why are they even fighting? Right? But the fact is, it's dysgenic. I mean, they killed millions of people. I mean, and 1/3 of the country is left of Ukraine. So this is depopulation.
I might add that those depopulations, each one of those victims bleeding into the ground, feeds the efforts that they had planned. So this burning of children in Palestine, it's the sacrifice in the Moloch fires that feeds their that pleases their dark lord, and then their lord favors them and their endeavors for the future. So coming up pretty soon will be the season of sacrifice. It's like the 40-day period before Beltane, and that you'll see a lot of like Columbine happen then and all these. But so October 7th happened on a ritual holiday for the Jews, and then this war happened on Purim, where they're celebrating killing the Amalek.
Memory of Amalek. Right?
Yeah. So like, it makes sense. I think that the killing of the children, the whole Palestine burning and the Ukraine sacrifice. I think all of that is now being used. Now it's like it was pushed into the system, and now we're seeing the fruits of those. So
Right. So the killing of the 175 kids is intentional. That's
right.
part of giving the energy, the sacrificial energy for this war.
Exactly.
So you can see the similarities from Ukraine, Epstein, to Ukraine, to Gaza, to Iran. These people are pure evil, man. And all these people, Huckabee and these Christians who were on board with them, they're all going to burn in hell for this stuff. They're totally fake Christians and evil. They're frankly evil. So I mean, it's so freaking bad that you can be on board with this. It's like it's really savage. Like that's their intent. That's the whole thing, is that people can't grasp they're intentionally killing these people. They're happy they're dead.
Right.
And just a reminder, exact same split second. The leader was killed, this attack happened. Exact same. Simultaneity. And so I think we should just read this article through. It's not very long. You want to read it? Who's motivated to read it?
Sean, go ahead.
I can. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I've got it here on my other window. So here we go. U.S. Israeli massacre of schoolgirls, a human sacrifice to Epstein cult. Iranian, says the Iranian envoy. The sex trafficker and financier. They always say he's a financier. Okay, anyway. The total psychopath who killed himself in prison, we're supposed to believe that too, is widely suspected of enabling criminal depravity for global elites. Now, we all knew that. So the strike on an Iranian school that killed at least 160 preteen students and teachers on the first day of the U.S.-Israeli regime change operation resembles satanic rituals allegedly enabled by pedophile American financier Jeffrey Epstein, an Iranian diplomat has claimed. The attack in Minab, for which U.S. and Israeli forces have not yet acknowledged responsibility, occurred last Saturday as the Pentagon and IDF struck targets across Iran in an attempt to decapitate and paralyze its government. Ali Reza Sanei, Iranian ambassador to Belarus, alleged on Wednesday that Epstein was part of a mystical cult and that the same forces targeted the Minab school in some ritual of child sacrifice meant to bring success to the U.S. Israeli military operation. That's basically what I just said a minute ago. It's very interesting. Okay, continuing with the quote, children from different countries were trafficked to Epstein Island, end quote, the diplomat said, referring to the financier's notorious islet in the U.S. Virgin Islands. There were abuses, rapes, then sacrifices. They sacrificed kids to the devil's spirit. Circumstantial evidence strongly supports assertions that Epstein was a sex predator targeting underage girls, and that at least some of his contacts shared his criminal tastes. There is also strong suspicion. Did you want to say something?
That's funny. It's not circumstantial. There's tons of evidence in these files that they're trafficking at an industrial level children.
Like we see the sonograms of their evidence of their raping. Yeah.
This is like being saved. What a joke. They're clearly targeting everybody, including underage girls, and that there's network. It's a huge network. Give me a break. Right. I'm sorry. It's not
global network. No, don't apologize. That's why you're here, man. That's great. There is also strong suspicion he was involved with intelligence services, including the CIA and Israel's Mossad, potentially providing blackmail material for U.S. and Israeli governments. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova similarly described the Minab incident as a sacrifice to the forces of evil, in a message condemning the EU's framing of the Iran war as giving new hope for Iranians to determine their future. The attitude is Satanism in full display, Zakharova said. I'm glad you brought this article, Hans. This is great. According to complaints from U.S. military service members cited by the nonprofit Military Religious Freedom Foundation, some commanders told troops that the attack on Iran is part of God's plan and designed to trigger the second coming of Jesus through Armageddon, as described in the Book of Revelation. U.S. conservative talk show host Tucker Carlson, a vocal critic of the Iran campaign and proponent of Christian values, denounced what he called demonic bloodlust from U.S. neocons celebrating death and destruction. Bloodlust is never sated. Just like any other kind of lust, it's never sated. Nothing is ever enough, he warned. That really sets the mood for this show. Thanks, Hans.
Sacrifice kids to the devil's spirit. But this is RT. These are diplomats. These are people they're not, conspiracy podcasters, right? These are, and this is a recognition of this because there is no way to explain it. And it looks like it was actually a U.S. missile that was fired towards it. It was on the target list. It was specifically chosen, right? And William, if you don't mind, like, what's very interesting, just as an entree, there's just a short clip of Trump responding to this when he's questioned by the reporter. It's up to 170 kids were killed. What is your response to this, Mr. President? And this shows, then we can see the behind the mask, right? The lie, right? You are telling the lie as part of this offering, man. Really, unfortunately.
Do you have that clip, or should I find
it? I'll bring it up. You can keep.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's incredible stuff. I sent you the two files that I meant to send you earlier. One is a civil litigation file, which is really super disturbing, and then the other one is a collection of all the incoming stuff, the crisis intake stuff that came to the FBI after he was arrested. So I don't think anybody's really focused on that who was looking at the Epstein files, but that's the stuff the FBI is supposed to act on, which they clearly didn't. The cover-up, guys, is absolutely incredible. So many people were stalled and so many inquiries were stalled. Jeffrey Berman, if you remember when Epstein was arrested back in 2019, they had this U.S. attorney. His name was Geoff Berman, Geoffrey. And he did a lot of the public presentations about why they did it. But he did two documents. He wrote two about co-conspirators and corporate co-conspirators. And then he was summarily fired within 4 months as Trump was headed out of the office. And that's interesting. And also There's other people saying that Comey's daughter was responsible for stymieing the investigation that was supposed to happen in New Mexico, which is really now happening. Actually, it's huge news in New Mexico, the investigation into Zoro Ranch. But the cover up is just off the charts.
Yeah. My friend of mine, a good friend of mine, is a journalist right out there in New Mexico. So he tried actually popping the show last week about the Zoro Ranch thing. Maybe if he shows up.
I can send out the link to the StreamYard. They can just come right in and sit with us. I don't mind. Anybody can sit in too. If you have something to say, you don't feel like you're hearing something in the comments, just put some in the comments. You can pop in. I don't mind. If you can stream in on this, I don't care. As long as you guys don't care.
I'm keeping an eye on the comments too. Okay. So I see.
Just keep your pants on.
Yeah, we can shut off your camera from here if you got your pants on.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, within the boundaries of reasonable behavior.
Hey, wait, if you don't mind, I just sent you the link in the chat for the for that Trump's response about this, right? When it came out, right? I mean, when all the evidence came out about the girl school attack. So,
Let me see if I can.
Sacrificed kids to the devil's spirit.
We got and Trump blames the Iranians now for the schoolgirl murders. They were part of the surprise attack. How dumb does he think people are? From Wally Tango Foxtrot.
There's always some neocon or Jewish guy behind Trump smiling or doing something. It's either Lutkin or this guy right here who's on his negotiating team. What's this guy's name? That's not Lutnick. It's another one. But I'll bring up a couple pictures. People get freaked out. People are saying something about Kushner. We were talking about Kushner at the beginning of the show. But it only gets worse, guys. It's these people are demonic. They're really, really evil.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Higson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
Certainly.
The only side that targets civilians is Iran.
Right.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran.
Of course.
Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Can you give us an idea of what unconditional surrender looks like to you? I mean, what do you want from Iran?
I said unconditional, not conditional. I said they have no accuracy.
So they shot themselves. They killed their own little girls.
So why would they be launching a missile when they're in negotiations? So you have to understand this was launched when they had just basically bent over backwards. They gave everything up. Everything. We won't even fund Hezbollah. We'll stop funding Hamas. We'll to stop our missile program. And they did the bombing. And look at that weird guy smiling behind him. He's like he's like happy. He's like, yeah.
He's like, part of the negotiating. Somebody in the chat knows his name.
Hegseth is the Secretary of War Crimes. That's pretty good. But the other guys. Yeah, the other guy. Yeah, I didn't see him smiling. I thought you were talking
Somebody knows it in the chat. I forgot. Witkoff, thank you. He was part of the negotiating team with Kushner, right? It's Witkoff. It's usually Lutnick, or during the Biden administration, it was the Secretary of State, the guy who looked like an undertaker. These people are murderers. They like the death. That's the whole thing. It's like they're savages.
It was done by Iran.
Can you give us an idea of what unconditional surrender looks like to you? I mean, what do you want from Iran?
I said unconditional.
See, he doesn't hear it right. Do you see that again? He's not hearing it right. He said unconditional, and then he corrects the guy for saying the right word. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
What unconditional surrender looks like to you? I mean, what do you want from Iran?
I said unconditional, not conditional. I said unconditional. It's where they cry uncle, or when they can't fight any longer, there's nobody around to cry uncle. That could happen too, because we've wiped out their leadership numerous times already. So it's if they surrender, or if there is nobody around to surrender, but they're rendered useless in terms of.
I mean, we're the ones who are going to run out of ammunition. It's funny.
I think it's already happening.
Yeah.
No, it's already happened. I mean, this, just like I said, Ukraine war, there's no way Ukraine can win, period. It just won't happen. right?
Right.
In this thing, the amount of damage, in actual ground troops to invade Iran with the vast size of that country and with their new missile technology, right? Basically, all the defensive systems are gone. Israel is depleted of all the Iron Dome is nothing. It's gone. Most command and control radar centers have been knocked out all throughout the Middle East. So there's really
They
not
bombed
really
the airport too, right? The
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
Gvir
Yeah.
airport, and all of it is.
Yeah, and I have friends stranded there right now. They're stranded in the Middle East from flights, and so some of these places to get out of there, you got to pay like $350,000, $400,000, and these are just normal people. They're stranded in there's no flights, man. You're stuck. You have a transit flight, and you're there. So it's really rough right now.
Look at how fragile those states were, those Arab states too. And they're pissed. They're done. Like all the values are going to be down forever. And they're never going to trust the US because that's why they let them put bases there, right? Was that they were supposed to get protected and they didn't get anything. Israel didn't get protected that well either, for that matter. So, and they can't do ground invasion, by the way. There's no facility for us to get all the troops together and get over there and do a full scale ground invasion. It can't.
We don't have enough troops anyway, do we? I mean,
quality of the troops.
That's true too. I mean, all of our troops are getting breast implants and
yeah, it's going to be like that too once they lose the midterms too. So Trump only has about I guess 8 months, 10 months to do anything before the LGBTQ people come back in power or whatever are going to influence power. So yeah, it's bad. This is incredible risk taking. It's just off the charts. It was all set up. I mean, I think that Lee has on World War III. It feels like it. It feels like the beginning.
Well, the thing is, the difference at any point in history, right, that we have also is that, so you can look at World War II, World War I, this, that, these various wars. We can see everything being done deliberately. Oh, let's do a false flag missile attack. Let's hit Europe, right, Central Europe or whatever, to bring Russia in. Azerbaijan. Let's hit Azerbaijan. Why would they do that, right? So they want to bring in NATO. You already have NATO. So you have NATO, then you have Russia, China. So they're doing everything possible to make World War III happen. You know what I mean? There's no every level. I mean, you can't, all these countries are running out of oil. I mean, you're looking at global apps. We are somewhat insulated in the United States, but you're looking at Europe, global financial collapse. India, 60% of their oil comes through Straits of Hormuz. Japan is like 70 or 80%. We're looking at Korea, and then you're taking the THAAD system from Korea. Oh, we're going to watch it. America is gone. The entire bastion of power in the Middle East. You know what I mean? That luxury ride, Bahrain and, Dubai and whatever. Overnight flush down the toilet, man. You can't rebuild that stuff. THAAD missile, $1 billion. Boom, gone. For a war you can't win for I'm going to swear, no fucking reason at all, except you're an idiot and you're a Satanist and you're not going to win the war. You're going to cause so much damage to everybody in the world. So this is Epstein class.
Right. These people are willing to burn the world so that we don't learn that they bang their own daughter or whatever else the hell they do.
Everything, kids, infants, prepubescent stuff. We don't know the totality of how bad it is, but it only gets worse the more you look at it, and the more pieces that are over. You can see that Patel and Bondi are massive cover-up agents and totally evil.
Right.
I mean objectively, you're covering up trafficking and people are disappeared. There's another one around Prince Andrew where he's got some 13-year-old girl who disappeared out of Ukraine. Nobody knows where she is. She disappeared the same time Andrew was pictured with this girl on the floor that fits the same dimensions of the girl who went missing in Ukraine. So you have an international, and the girl from Ukraine, like I said, was never found. So maybe the intel among the UK, they know the real story of Andrew and said, we're going to bust you for state secrets.
Right.
And same with Mendelsohn.
I'll bet you this is the reason why Trump is even president now, because they knew that this is going to be released at this time, or was going to bubble out at this time, because it was already bubbling out since, when Epstein got arrested the second time. All of a sudden people were looking and learning, and so in order to put a cap on it, they could put the guy who's most involved with this, most dirty and the most part of this Epstein thing, and then surround him with an Epstein cabinet, as the representative from Kentucky says, Massey. Yeah, like it's so obvious what, like, these people aren't going to tell the truth. They will do the worst of the worst because they are the most implicated, and yeah, we're seeing it now.
I think you're right. I think they had a plan the whole time. And I think the same thing with Biden. Biden, they always called Biden a pedo, and Clinton was clearly, compromised. So I don't know what Bush was. I guess they had compromat on him on 9/11. Maybe that's why there's that picture of him throwing a paper plane. But
right, but yeah. Why? But they put him in for 9/11 because he was forced in. He was put there by the courts because of the hanging chads in Florida with Jeb Bush, and that everything was part of it. And then George H.W. Bush, Poppy Bush, is really evil. If you read into survivor stories, what he, Bush babies, and
even in these files,
right,
like gobbling down on people's entrails. Which, I mean, right. My first book, Prophet of Evil, is about George Bush Sr. That's the whole trick. That's the whole hook of the whole book. It's really about him at the end. It's being a Satanist. If you read it to the end, but so it fits in with all this other knowledge that you had, and the trafficking. His allegations about Senior go all the way back to the Franklin scandal.
Right. Exactly. Right. The Franklin. He had the bringing the boys into the White House, right? And
which is consistent with his son, that guy who was supposedly Johnny Gosh Gannon, who the Democrats found out was brought into the White House at night like 40 times. Like he was registered in. Like they found that out about Epstein too.
He was also a fake reporter. He had a press pass. Remember? So he was there.
Allen Publishing.
In his website, he's like all buff, wearing his Speedo, and
he was posing in a gay, like macho gay pose, like a gay porn pose or something.
But that's actually Masonic, I'll tell you. Well, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
I'm kidding.
These days, you never know.
Yeah, the way the Masons have to stand with their feet all weird, it's probably some like.
He was almost like what a come hither pose a girl would make. Like I got my arm up and I'm looking at the camera, staring at the camera. But yeah, so that implicates Bush Jr. in a lot of stuff.
And they were
all
trying
these guys know Crowley.
He was there for when the first time they tried to kill Reagan, and he was going to take power then. And he was there since the killing of Kennedy, and that whole thing, working for them, it's a very integral part of this whole thing, and it ties it all together. Right.
Bush Sr. is like a mega parapolitical operator of drugs and trafficking and child rape and 9/11 and false flags and wars, right? He was like the primary guy behind the first Iraq war,
and when they
Desert Shield or whatever. He's just everywhere.
Remember when they asked him on camera what he thinks of his son and his abilities as a president, and he replied with, "Well, he has a lot of good people around him." So like even if George W. wasn't like, a player at the Epstein Playhouse or whatever, he still was surrounded by he was being controlled by the whole thing. And,
much like they're doing to Trump now, I think they're just giving him whatever information they want him to have. And he's too stupid and old to figure it out. But one of the interesting things about the Bush Jr. Administration is every morning he started off with a call from Daddy. So Poppy talked to him every morning when he went to work. He got a call and it's like, "Oh, Dad, what do you want me? This blah 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 blah. I got these buddies," because his dad was also super networked. So
Well, Bush was actually, though, I mean, during that time, he was actually quite funny. Like his speeches, I mean, they would crack you up. You know what I mean? The stuff he said. During the debate, he said something like, I would like put food on their family and I would satisfy his wife or something. Like he said something like,
these are all funny for him. These are all fake. George Bush Jr. was an excellent actor. People can't see through that.
Oh,
he would always get poses like you'd be looking confused. The guy is like a silver spoon, golden child. He went to the best universities, the best public private schools, and the most highest level secret societies imaginable. So all those pictures of him like grabbing doors and farting around, that's fun for him. That's what makes the job fun, is acting stupid. Pooty poot and all this. This is all like the Grecians. That's just, go watch his actual literal debate speeches from when he was running for governor of Texas. It's scary lucid. Like, wow, this guy's really sharp. He's like one of those people who's not trying to overplay smart. He's trying to underplay it. That's really it.
Just one of the
really
most
smart.
effective ways, right? Is you act dumb.
Great actors. Clinton was a great actor.
And the thing is that I mean, I've, as somebody, I'm not very good at acting, obviously, but I mean, the best way to get somebody is act dumb. Especially act like a dumb hippie. Oh, that's really cool, man. Wow, far out. Oh, let me, seriously, like this is one of the most effective ways to manipulate others. But I mean, with Trump, even though, we got the Trump secret police, after people to criticize him, but he's not funny. But number two, it's like, this is, you just for no reason, right? Except for, maybe, you're blackmailed or whatever. You're destroying the entire world economy. They're trying to do the Great Reset. This is like COVID on steroids. I mean, U.S. is not going to win. They're not going to achieve our objectives. You're not going to conquer Iran. But you can destroy a lot of people. But if you push this on, Europe's going to be gone. United States will be gone. And if you've got power, right, you have the shadow of power. Now it's punctured, dude. No one's going to want the petrodollar.
Right. But if you're a really ruthless operator and trying to make money for your family, you make money off this. That's what the Epstein files instructs us, is that they're making money off of everything is monetized. So monetized on the drop, monetized on the return, monetized all the way through, baby. So I bet these guys and their finance elements, Rothschilds and all these other people are like, okay, let's short oil, let's take oil top, it's going to go up, because they know it's order out of chaos, basically. It's Masonic stuff.
Right.
They're that ruthless.
What is it? Terrorist capitalism or something? What is the term? I forget what that. There was there was a guy that was hired to destroy companies, and it was like a military action. I forget what that was called. The name of it.
Yeah, but you see that in Epstein in his portfolio,
right?
Like just this vast portfolio, and everything's about money and insight. You can make money in Ukraine and blah 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 blah. So I think he was making money like trafficking women, the drug investigation, which got stymied. Make money on short selling. There's all kinds of allegations of him doing penny stock manipulation.
He started Bitcoin.
Dude,
did you look into that?
No. Epstein started Bitcoin.
He controlled 3 of the 5 programmers that were doing it, that started the whole thing. He had like a voting. He controlled 3 of the 5, so he guided. And then when the main guy left, the guy who replaced was shopping it around to the CIA and whatever, and how did he get that idea? Where did that come from? So people need to look into that. It's crazy because they probably knew the dollar was going to collapse, and so they had to have something set up. And then Trump was saying that they're going to have Bitcoin stocks or whatever the hell, and then all the big banks are buying into the Bitcoin huge, and it went up well over 100 G's for one. It's back down to 65 or something, but and that I think helped to push the gold. The price of gold is crazy now. It's like
5,500.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
Crazy. I mean, people thought we're going to break
Silver
2,000.
too.
They were
Yeah.
like, I remember that. They couldn't
Right.
even believe it.
And
now
that just, I mean, gold is the same as it ever was. It just shows how it is compared to the dollar and how dollar has fallen, you know.
think about what that's going to do to people's savings. What if, hopefully they don't have it in the Dow 50,000 because it's going to get even worse tomorrow morning, guys.
The Dow is up though. What do you mean?
Is it really?
No, remember Pam Bondi?
yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, that whole thing.
No.
You're still talking about Epstein. The Dow is up.
I mean, we're looking at, I mean, just so people understand, a totally voluntary war for no reason, for shifting goalposts. Okay, goalposts are what? Regime change. Okay, you want to turn it into a failed state. You want to turn it into Syria or whatever. 2008, when they war game this, there's two major war games of attack on Iran, right? All of them failed completely. United States, even before they had this advanced, hypersonic missile technology, U.S. failed every time in the war games. It is a vast country. It is a vast country with thousands of year history, and we don't have the military fighting force, and you can't do it as an option. So you want to invade this country. You can kill lots of people there. Maybe you can, whatever. But the amount of damage, it's going to crash the United States. All of our goods, the supply chain stuff, I mean, it's already hitting. I would say $20 a gallon gas at one point. I mean, Trump could single-handedly destroy the entire
I have seen
rest of
$20.
civilization.
I've seen $20 gallons of gas in Nashville before. I lived through it, and both Nashville and Atlanta like ran out of gas, and it was weird. There would be like one on the other one side of town, and everybody would go there, and they'd sell gas for like 4 hours, and then they'd be out, and then another one on the other side of town, and people were flipping. There was one dude like cut in line with his car, and all the people around lifted his car and rolled it out of the way. There were people pulling guns on each other. Don't cut me in line, right? Like nobody died or whatever, but it was ruthless. And you could only buy 4 gallons, and it was $20 a gallon. It was ridiculous, dude.
That stuff happens, guys. We're at like potential in the future, near or mid future, societal breakdown, at least in countries around the world.
Mad Max, right?
Yeah, because the consequence. I mean, all Iran has to do right now to win the war is just consistently bomb Israel every night for another week or two, and destroy their desalination plants, and the whole thing will empty because everybody will be at each other's throats, which they already are. They're shooting people, like they're not talking about it, but people are pissed because they're going down in these bunkers for a day after day after day after day, and you're wearing them out. And so that's all Iran has to do. It's not a 6-month war. They're going to collapse. The Israel will collapse, guys. I'm not kidding.
I want to just respond. This conspiratory just says the Hans guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That would be myself. No, I didn't say the United States get its oil from Iran. Straits of Hormuz is a central platform for the entire global economic structure. So Japan gets almost all their oil from there. Korea does. Okay. China
And the
gets a lot
natural
of
gas,
oil
too.
and all kinds of other products and things. Saudi pipelines, we do get some percentage of oil through the Straits of Hormuz, not from Iran. We most likely do not buy oil from Iran. Russia gets, China gets oil from Iran. Russia, okay.
England
The person
does.
who's criticizing
BP.
you doesn't know
Europe
what they're
gets a
talking
lot.
about it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you
Don't
know,
let
but
it
I-
ruffle your feathers.
Collins knows all the nodes for Saudi Arabia for its oil come through the Strait of Hormuz. They don't go west.
It's a transit counter. It's
Right.
it's
So
a-
and Iran's the same way. 90% of its oil come out of one island, Kyrgyz Island, and it all goes through. That's like 20% of all the oil in the world. So it is if that gets shut down, which I think it's shut down. It's just
shut
like,
down.
Yeah.
It's selective. I heard that they're letting the Chinese boats go through, and they're letting but no for the allies of the U.S. or the U.S. and Israel. But the thing is that not only does it block from people getting it, it blocks the producers from being able to make it because all of their stocks are full, and where they're going to put it, and they all stop too.
Some of these comments are probably out of Israel. They're probably out of like section 8200 or something. Because I post stuff on X and the responses are incredible. They're super fast. I've had stuff ripped and taken to Mario Nawful within an hour.
Wow.
I found out that he has a whole squad of 80 people underneath him. So like his team isn't just him. He's like a brand. And then he has like almost a whole suite of media people.
And they're looking at you for something to talk about.
100%.
You're the maven.
Bro, they are taking my stuff and they're putting it in there. And they're also somebody commenting right away. And I've had disputes with people because there's some type of informational warfare of reputational attacks that are happening lightning quick. Because I've had somebody, I was like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. Like, you shouldn't trust this person right away. Within like 2 or 3 minutes, I'm like, well, why shouldn't I trust this person? Who are you? Why are you casting doubt on this person's reputation? So this information warfare is real and it's happening in real time during this war. It's a component of this war and it's in the social media and it's in the space. And there's probably some of these people in these comments that are not working in the best interest of trying to figure things out.
I'm only highlighting some of the good ones I'm seeing. So.
I don't mind
saying anything. I don't mind the insults. I've been called everything, guys. Nobody wants to put anything about me in writing, so I should tell you everything.
Yeah, you're not being sued for all the things that you've said. I've
never been sued. Like I have a 100% rate of like facts. Like I've never been sued, and I've never had anybody who really wanted to go and put something negative. I've been a lawyer since 1998. I can't even believe it.
Right.
So, I mean, I have to kind of be a straight arrow. You can't engage in acts of moral turpitude.
Well, the thing is, if you, I recognize in my life, like if you are what you say, how you act in your life, right? I've had people say, oh my God, if people are watching me, like, okay, yes, I have my own privacy, of course, whatever, but I live clean. Top to bottom. It's much easier. You have a point of honesty. You have a ground. They can't touch you. They cannot touch you. As soon as you start to step in and become compromised, right? As soon as you take these little things, then you lose that power, right? Which is, and that's, to me, that comes from the core of the universe. That's right. Whatever you think about, I don't care, but that's.
There's so much to talk about. Like, do you want to watch that Josephson clip with the Moloch?
Yeah.
Like this guy. So Josephson is a friend of Epstein. Well, he knew Epstein. He was in the files. He's a producer of films. During Pizzagate, I made this video. This is 10 years ago because it had all these same codes that were in the Podesta emails: handkerchief, pizza. Which I don't know all this stuff. Weird references to magic. Watch this clip. Like I'm kind of overdubbing it, so it's for commentary. So hopefully I won't get a copyright strike. But I think I'll just show the end because it's important. But let's just watch this. This is the end where there she is. I'm trying to avoid like getting this taken off of YouTube. But
wait, maybe if you don't play the audio.
Can you that picture you showed, right, of the producer? I think we did that before the show started, right?
Okay, was it Josephson? Let me see.
Yeah, Josephson with the weird, and you were doing this occult.
Oh yeah. That's Leon Black.
Leon Black, yeah. Which I'd say I challenge everybody to do this gesture. It hurts your fingers.
I'll bring it up next.
Unless you got 20.
That's why she's drinking a poison drink, a drugged drink, right? So you see this drugging and all this stuff. Epstein drugging, accusations of Copperfield drugging. She's the Scarlet Woman. She's got the red hair. There's the handkerchief. There's the pizza. Full moon. But look at this sequence. So like the rat gets under. They say the pizza's bleeding.
Red and white, blood and semen.
Right.
And so that's what these statues to Molech looked like. They look like big heads with flames in them. It's literally what the pizza oven looks like.
Look at that. What's that poster right there in the back? Look at that.
Oh, no.
Looks like like some kind of a demon kidnapping a child, doesn't it? Like a fox. See that in the left corner?
The little girl says the pizza, it's breathing, right? Pizza supposedly either means kid or
But-
little girl.
But look at the framing of the shot, the
Pizza's
triangulation
fire.
of the poster. You know, see, let me pause it if you don't mind. Pause it real quick. Go back a couple frames. Right there. Right there. There. Look. So look at the red. Right there. Stop. Yeah. Red dot on her arm. Right. So all this is registered by the subconscious. You see it. Your subconscious. Your subconscious sees the 25th frame. Right. So look at this lineup. Right. The three little plates up there. Green. Like she's the green color with the plates. The red dot. Okay, on
Is
her
that an
sleeve.
eyeball on a red dot? That looks like
Yeah,
that.
and then look at that little demon fox, red fox creature. Looks like it's holding a child or a child's head, a severed child's head, and a knife. In that poster.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
See that? And look at the alignment.
knife,
It all
too.
lines up, right? It's curved, lined up, colors line up. This is, I mean, it's a very well studied shot. With the green is like the recessed color. The red is forward, right? But it's a friggin' some kind of a demon creature looks like either holding a child with a knife. Does it not?
Yeah.
In the poster on the far left.
Watch this.
Yeah, it
This
does.
is incredible, guys. It goes into the oven, and look what the audience does. Watch this. Or the people. Into the oven it goes.
So yeah, and the
Then everybody claps.
cheese pizza.
They're all celebrating the sacrifice in the Molech oven. Jeez, it's so dark. That's just like a small sequence from this film. So I got to go back and watch and check. That's literally from 10 years ago.
Here,
And it's hyper symbolic. That's why I was calling attention to these stuff I noticed, right? These are all cues. I mean, that is such a well designed, every single microsecond, all the relationality, the colors, it's all right there, right? And you look at when she goes in the Moloch thing, you have that red, white, color imagery, and there he is doing a very difficult hand gesture.
Oh, sorry. Is that sharing now?
This
Sorry.
is, I'll do it. I got it. Let's see.
Oh,
No, let me remove that.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to put it in the queue.
It's all good. It's all good. This is the one. You can see the Bates number up on the top, EFTA 01227808. So this is from it. Does this guy look familiar here with the sunglasses?
Yeah.
Kushner. The
He
guy
has
to
great
his
arms.
left is a guy by the name of Leon Black, who's all over the files. Friends with Epstein, a lot of civil litigation. And then underneath him is David Geffen. So it's a gaggle of very, wow. Like the stories about these guys will blow your mind. But you wanted to make a comment about his hand gestures.
Oh, yeah, no, he's doing this. So this is like I just watched this thing on film on like witchcraft, occultism in England. There's Margaret A. Murray, the witch cult in Western Europe, and looking at the actual ritual occult sacrifices that happened in England that were documented in the 40s and 50s. This is one of the gestures, witches' gestures, and just try to do it. It's not. You're not going to sit there in a relaxed manner and do this gesture. It hurts. You know what I mean? Like he's making a sign. This is a sign, right? So this is an occult gesture that he's doing there. And
Like a mudra.
This is the guy behind Trump all the time.
it's a mudra. It's a manifestation.
It's a mudra. Wow.
It is a mudra. So mudra, people don't know mudra, right? So I have a degree in mantra therapy and also mudra. I know all about mudras, right? How mudras work. Mudra, basically, they create circuits in the body, right? So you're creating a circuit like Dhyan mudra, everyone knows this. This creates a specific energy circuit in the human body. They're also gestural. Like, someone gives you the middle finger. Gestures have power. There's certain gestures that, and especially, basically, they can tie the human body, energetic channels with a force multiplier, right? You see that witchcraft all the time, right? The gestures are very important, right? The gesture is a gathering of power, a manifestation. It has an individual psychokinetic, neurokinetic, individual charging as well as the external. You're exposed to the gesture will affect the mind. Like if it's a charged gesture, right? It's like a charged object, at least within the belief systems.
Teach you this in speech acting class. Guys, the Islamic regime, they're Persians. They're not Arabs. The people who run Iran are Persians generally, but it's a multi-ethnic state.
Right.
But the core is Persians. And it's pre-Islamic. Like the civilization goes back there millennia.
Right.
As long as Jews have been around. So some of these comments are not good.
I didn't click on that, and all of a sudden it went up. I was like, "What did I do?"
Well, I passed my hand over. I mean, my thing over, and it just popped up.
Okay. Would you mind if I show this real quick clip that relates to the Moloch fire in the mouth of here? This. Yeah, I don't know about the quote there, but yeah, it's only 3 minutes. Here, I'll skip through. Here, where is it? Yeah, this. This is what we talked about. This happened in Chicago in 1933. Hans, is that when it happened?
I would say to go back and read the Bible quotes because they're important.
Okay.
All this stuff, the book of Esther, this whole Iranian war, it's exactly linked with the biblical thing. So we're living in, very much connected with this. So I think it's worth maybe just read them out
I'll
loud.
let it play. It was 3 minutes. I was trying to cut it down. 3 minutes is okay. We can do 3 minutes here. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 14:9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. 14:23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. Leviticus 22. Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers of the sojourn of... I didn't get it all. Sorry, guys.
Gives his seed unto Moloch. If he gives his seed unto Moloch.
Gives his seed unto Moloch. So Chicago, Illinois.
Is there a way to stop it or pause it?
Yeah, I can pause it. Do you want to say something?
Well, if you want to quote that.
Oh, right. I can go back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. All right. So moving on. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Chicago, Illinois, 125,000. See Jewish historical pageant. This is the Jews are celebrating this out in the open in Chicago, Wrigley Field, I think it's something like that.
I like the 77 too. There on the other side of the.
It's Wrigley Field.
There you go. 77, of course.
Look at the Moloch statue. They're whipping them. This is before it even started. Look at that.
And the women dancing. Those are the priestesses of Inanna.
We talked about George W. Bush. They're rolling out the George W. Bush aircraft carrier to the Middle East.
But this
Do you know what its number is?
77, I'll bet, right? Yeah, good guess, right?
Look at this, dude. This was shown in newsreels. People had no choice but to watch this. So you go to watch your movie, right? There's, basically there's no television at this time.
Before the movies.
Yes, it's before television. So this would be a newsreel. Right, so people got their news. You go to see whatever Humphrey Bogart or Silent Screen Queen. You go and then you have to watch this. This was a newsreel clip. You may be buying popcorn, maybe in the background, but millions of people saw this clip.
Right. So they saw it in a darkened theater too. It's going in their heads. These images. Okay, so there's a brazen bull, and there was smoke coming out of his nose. There's maidens dancing in front of it. 125,000 people. Okay. Sparks coming out of the nose. There's fire in the head of this brazen bull.
Just like what we saw in that clip I just showed, right?
Yes, exactly. And they're the priests. Look at all those people. So
this is a mass ritual. This is a major ritual. Look at this.
Yeah.
Not only the people that were there,
and it connects to everybody else that sees it in the newsreels too. They're in,
A new day dawns, the 20th century, with hopes of freedom, happiness, and peace.
Getty image.
Getty is in the files, guys.
I know, that's
Getty.
why. Yeah, right. That's why I was laughing.
Well, so this clip, so what you, in the beginning, Sean, you had the full footage, right? This is what most people know is just a short little clip, right? The 30-second, 10-second with the dancing, that pre-show, so to speak, stuff, you know,
Right.
with where they bring it out and they're whipping them as they're carrying the Moloch idol. They're being whipped, at least in the
Right.
footage.
The title of this video is Thousands of Amalekites Celebrate.
Amalekites. Oh, wow.
Yep. Celebration, sacrifice, ritual to Moloch in 1933.
And I think, Sean, I brought this up in the Khilafat show, right? That's
Yes.
where this footage,
That's where this came from. Yeah.
and
I
that,
saved everything. So
This
So-
is Madison Square Garden, right? Is that what you said?
I think it's Wrigley Field.
Wrigley
Where
Field, sorry.
they do the baseball.
For people who
I'll
don't
keep
know,
going.
Netanyahu keeps talking about the seed of Amalekite, or the memory of Amalekite needs to be wiped out. So he'll say one thing to people in American English, and then to his Hebrew brethren, he'll be like, "We got to get
And-
Amalekites." He would do that too for Gaza. So
That's the destroying of the Amalek is the why they're celebrating Purim. That's what this whole thing started on Purim, when they're all out the streets with their costumes and celebrating.
for
that's
people
what-
who don't know, when the ancient Israelites, according to the Bible, came out of Egypt, they were going to the Promised Land, and they were contesting with other tribes. One was the Amalekites, and the other is Edomites, and they're supposedly offspring of like some other, like, you know, Esau and Jacob, or like one of these other families or something. It's like their heritage is there. And so this theme of that contesting of other tribes reverberates through certain strains of Judaism to the present day. So like they'll call people Amalekites or Edom. So Europe is the seed of Edom. And so they go back to all these things. And that God made a commandment 3,000 years ago to get rid of the Amalekites in their memory and kill them all. Like it was really biblical. Like
Right.
you're not
Even the
supposed to-
children.
right, children, exactly.
And-
They're pets, animals, they're everything. You're supposed to just kill them all. So you see that I think that mentality is reflected
And-
in Gaza and Iran.
Genocide.
And real quick, so Purim, right? Purim is based upon the book of Esther, which is, it regards the story of when a particular group of people that wear small hats occasionally, or large hats in this instance, were sequestered in Iran. And basically, Haman was an advisor to the king of Iran. And so he said, these people are subverting the government, subverting the nation, destroying the moral values, siphoning money off. And so he went, Esther had seduced the king. And basically, they were able to have a revolution, a revolt. Haman, the truthful advisor, was killed, and they killed 70 or 80,000 Iranians or Persians who they were living with peacefully. So it was an act of betrayal. Esther was a concubine who seduced the king, right? Who was sent in as a honey trap, as an Epstein honey trap to seduce the king. And then they did just a mass slaughter. They were not harmed in any way, but they did the mass slaughter as a preemptive attack. And even to this day, during the Feast of Purim, they eat human body cakes that are supposed to be the body of Haman. And so, and the fact is that at no point it was a betrayal. The guy basically told the king, "You're getting fucked." Sorry to swear. You're getting screwed over. And so, but Esther advised the king. Oh, you don't trust Haman. Haman is sacrifice, ritual sacrifice. And then they had the midnight massacre and just slaughtered all these people when they had never been attacked. This is what Purim is. And we're now looking at the Moloch ritual. I'm sorry to say that online, but this is read the book of the Bible. It's the book of Esther. There's nothing spiritual in that book whatsoever. It is a book of betrayal, revenge, sexual blackmail, and killing the truth teller.
And they teach that to their children, and these kids grow up to think this is normal, right? And then they do these displays in public in 1933. Like, this is what we do, guys. And I didn't even finish this. We're gonna keep going.
They also do other things on Purim where you're allowed to like almost engage in the Sabbatean Levier type stuff where you can sin
Right.
and smoke. So you'll see like 8-year-old kids smoking,
Right.
and drinking, like weird stuff. Like, whoa,
They-
this is really like the laws don't apply on Purim or something.
Inversion of all laws. Yeah. So you can do anything. There's no laws. In fact, you're supposed to become completely intoxicated.
Right. You're supposed to really get super drunk. Right?
Did you see the thing I hate to bring this up, and hopefully they don't show up with the van, take me away,
Black bag.
make me live with the Greys, alien Greys.
We're not supposed to talk. This is anti-Semitism just to talk about Epstein files.
No, just
Probably just to
saying,
show the video here. Yeah.
but saying facts. So you also wear costumes, right? So you dress up. It's like this masquerade ball. It's almost like a Santa ball, and they had these clips, you can find it, of these two girls, and they're both wearing burning 9/11 towers as their costumes during Purim.
Wow. Wow. That goes to show you their mindset,
And you can find it.
It's like they're all
Imagine growing up and it's like the Old Testament. There's no New Testament.
right.
So like the Christian, at least like speaking for myself, like you were seeing these two books together and they like overlap and they're
Right.
the study, but they don't even have that. They just go straight from the Old Testament to the Talmud or whatever, the rabbinical type stuff. Which is
The Talmud's the only true law that
Yeah.
they have, though.
and I've heard Netanyahu say that the Holy Talmud. He's mentioned the Talmud is holy. So if that's holy to you, like to Christians, it's unholy.
That's the opinion of other psychopaths written down. There's nothing holy about it. They don't even say it comes from God. Like, it's crazy.
They admit it doesn't come from God.
Right. Yeah. And then if you look at what they say in there, it's morally repugnant. I mean, it's no wonder they get kicked out of all these countries,
Sex with 3-year-olds, Christ is
Right.
burning in a thing of excrement.
Right. And like you in court, the
You can lie and cheat.
Goyim
You're only
never
true to
wins.
Jews. Stay away
Right.
from Goyim.
Right.
Blah blah blah. That's why there's that picture of like Epstein, and he's got the full Talmud right behind him.
Right. Yeah, I've done a couple shows about the Talmud, and that just and I think about how the psychology affects them growing up, and then also if you think about in Israel they have the IDF train. They all have to go through the IDF thing and like go through the boot camp, and they're all trained like they all want to. They're all against us, and we need to fight the world, and then when they're babies, their genitalia is mutilated, and all that. Like, they're really full on hardcore with the mind control of those people, and it takes a lot to stomp out the morality, the inherent morality that people have. They're born with it, and you just gotta like smash them into psychopaths with this type of mind control. Anyway, yeah, the Judeo-Christian thing is another huge psyop.
Yeah, it's a psyop. It's a psyop by the Jews.
When they put them
Especially-
together like that, it's like, and then
It's a completely different religion. They're just not compatible at all.
right.
Judaism and Christianity. It's
Right.
totally different.
Christ would not be happy if he was.
That's who we fought against.
Exactly.
That's the whole people. What people
Yeah.
Christians don't get is the people today who are doing this stuff. These are the people Christ fought against.
Right.
He was bringing a completely new doctrine. You've heard it said, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees." These are people that are the legacy of the Pharisees. They admit it.
Pharisees are the ones who wrote the Talmud,
Right. So
and
they
he's
admit all
flipping
this
their
stuff.
tables and telling them,
Yeah.
they're
Against
synagogue
the
of Satan.
Greeks. I mean, just like all kinds of stuff.
Right.
It
Yeah,
just
the father of lies or whatever.
but just in okay, well, I'll off the AI delete all this because I don't want to lose my little slender thread of the Cthulhu octopus I'm holding on to just to keep my head above water. No, I don't
You
worry
don't have
about,
much time.
I don't worry about, but no, I don't. You know what? Once you get things right, things are okay. right?
That's
You don't
right.
need to worry about these things. But look at this detail, like that face, the Amalek and the ritual. This is an occult working. It's not a musical theater production. It
Right.
is meant to pass beyond the subconscious threshold, right? It's a subconscious programming. People don't know the complexity of this ritual. It's not
Right.
part of some movie. It has no, it's just an anomaly, right? Inserted into, Babe Ruth hit 50 home runs. Da, 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 it's going. And then this is there, right in the middle. And then you watch, Lauren Bacall, whatever, who knows what you're watching. But you go into the temple, the cinema temple.
Right.
You go into Plato's cave.
Right.
You're there.
Yeah.
But this is an occult ritual. It's a mass ritual working that is taking the power from the viewers who are viewing it unconsciously, thereby giving consent
Yes.
to the action.
Just like they do with the Super Bowl now, the halftime show and all that. Like, so for the listeners listening that aren't watching, this huge brazen bull that's like 30, 40 feet tall has fireworks, like sparks shooting out of its mouth and nose right now as the maidens dance around it. Okay, there's the priest holding up a baby. And the brazen bull has doors on its belly, and the priest is putting the baby in the doors where there's a fire inside, and we hear women screaming.
And it looks kind of like a real kid.
Yeah, it does.
And
Care just got cremated.
Yes, right. Cremation of care.
How about those super tall hats, right? Those are kind of super unique, right? Because they're
They're the magician hats, like,
Yeah, they're like.
Do you notice similarities between what we saw in Enchanted and this? They
Yes.
put the pizza went in the oven, everybody clapped.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up. I was like, oh, this totally relates. They clapped. Yeah. So look at how they celebrate. All the maidens are dancing. Yay.
Mudra, right? There's also gestural ritual. They have different symbolic gestures. So these are all being communicated to the subconscious.
Right. And then it ends here with the last 20 seconds of Isaiah 26:20. Let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Lord is Baal, actually. Just anyway.
It can be Baal to them. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, totally inverted all these meanings and stuff like that. You use the word Lord, but
Right.
it wasn't talking about Yahweh.
Right. And if you go to Vatican City, you'll hear them praying to Lucifer, and they're really talking about Jesus, So that happens both ways. It goes back and forth. Okay, so 1 Corinthians 10:20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. So Epstein has fellowship with devils for sure. And
No
I've got more
question.
photographs of, like, there's other there have been other sacrifices like that, displays like that, and some of them have a big open mouth where the people can, like, walk in.
Astroworld, dude.
That true, yeah. I'll see if I can find that one while you're talking.
The one of the things about, like, his things was these circles. Apparently, one of the things about Baal worship is what you were talking about, Hans, is this dancing in the old pagan pool. They even had that back 2,000-3,000 years ago. So, like, there's some circle in, I think, both in Zoro Ranch and at the island, some kind of circular thing that was there. It may not be there, but it made me think, oh, this is a potential. I don't have any evidence. But
Well, they had labyrinths also, right? Epstein had these hedgerow labyrinth things
So is that Minotaur who ate babies too? Then
Yeah. Well, no. So when you think about the labyrinth, okay, describe it as a labyrinth, then you have the circular design pattern, right, of the dance, because these circular dance, and there's a lot of complexity, right? Even that what we just watched to analyze it, but
Here, I have here. Let's see. Well, I have one with letters on it, but we can look around the letters here. Here, I'll share it. This is here. 1 second. Okay. This was going to be, I was going to use this for a thumbnail for the show that we did with Carrie, Hans and I. We were talking about the Kleepot. And this here is another one of those displays where you see the priests are walking into the mouth, the jaws, and there's teeth. And there's three eyes on this beast. And it's also, it's kind of looks like a big Aztec type thing. If you look at the sides of it, has like those weird feathers, like the Quetzalcoatl snake, bird snake thing. But this is another one of those things where the priests are walking up the stairs into the mouth. It doesn't have flaming, but this is another one of those Moloch displays, sacrifice displays. But I didn't use that. I ended up using a normal picture, but
you guys,
it's a common theme. Yeah.
Just another aspect. So I've not posted the show, but I had a guy who does like astrology stuff. So this particular alignment is the same as the Russian Revolution, 1917. It's the same as a civil war starting. It's like Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, like planetary alignment. And so so this war started right in that. It's a very rare planetary alignment. Like, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but just as a, since we're,
wasn't there a red moon too in the last week or two?
Yeah, red moon. Yeah.
Right.
So, and I just want to read a quote.
Purim. So an alignment, red moon, and Purim.
Right.
Wow.
So
against
like four of the planets were all aligned on the 28th of February.
Yeah, and so that but this alignment lasts for like a month, like a while.
Right.
So I'm just going to read this because we're basically in the same alignment during the start of this war as they were for the 1917 revolution. This is under the sign of the Scorpion, Jory Lena, I think. So it's about Soviet Union. Just the introduction. The Soviet Empire was established at 4 minutes past 2 o'clock on the 8th of November, 1917 in the Russian capital, Petrograd. In astrological terms, the sun was just then precisely at the center of the sign Scorpio. Thus, Scorpio can be regarded as a symbol and guardian of Soviet power. The planet Pluto, in turn, affects those under the direct influence of Scorpio. In the past, Mars was said to rule Scorpio, but since Pluto's discovery, the effects of Pluto, even before its discovery, have all been the same, whether or not they're attributed to another planet. The fact that the Soviet Empire was born under the wrong planet demonstrates the inscrutable nature of Pluto, which does not show its true face until the time is ripe to restructure power to its own advantage. It has recently been revealed that the Bolsheviks were well versed in astrology. Scorpio's field of influence includes power and financial developments at the expense of others. That is why the power mongers of Scorpio need to stick together to establish a political mafia. In other words, Pluto and Scorpio also involves certain hidden circumstances which are revealed only with the passing of time. Vindictive, etc. So, but the exact same astrological constellations happened right at the bombing, right at the same time of the assassination. And this extends for a period of time. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I'm saying that it happened.
Pluto affects the whole generation of people, like everybody on Earth. It's not like specific to, like, your sun is specific to you, but Pluto is like the whole everybody. So everybody's being mashed into this.
They love astrotheology. That's the whole thing. So the average person may not, but they do. And the zodiac and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, they waited for these very unique planetary alignments to do the attack. And you look at this stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm not expert in this stuff, but literally that attack, it exactly aligns, right? And here we are.
Right.
Here we are. Here we talk about
Barrett.
Yeah, there's Trump talking to. Who's he holding hands with? Does that guy look familiar? Can we just see a picture of him making a mudra?
Right.
So
Now
that's
they're
Leon
holding
Black.
hands.
That's Witkoff, who was standing behind him when he was talking about the. What's the right word? The killing of the girls. What's the word when like people get burnt up? It's not like an offering. It's like
word is Holocaust. Holocaust means burnt offering. That's the
Right.
actual
the
word.
burnt offering of the 160 little girls.
Holocaust. It's a Holocaust. That's the actual word. That's the etymology of the word Holocaust.
Exactly.
Immolation was the word I was looking for, which
Okay.
is fine. I like Holocaust better. But there's Bondi with her pink and a cross, and she's the cover-up artist. I've got the files on my desk.
The upside down cross, right?
Yeah.
But notice the staging of this picture. Look, the crossed arms, like in the background, the ladies. Look.
Right.
She
Look
has
how creepy that
thumbs crossed, red and white, right in the back. Next one, the guy in the middle. What is it? Left over right, and then you have that weird hand gesture, the third hand, right? Trump is grasping Black's hand, with the thumb, the full thumb grip, and it looks like his
He's
hand
got the thumb grip on the back, maybe Masonic.
Yeah, but
Right.
look at
Yeah.
these are hand gestures. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. Until I saw that, like, look at that hand gesture on the far left. That's like very you have underlocking, under, above, right? These are not accidental gestures. I mean, I think it's all then
Look at Trump's handmaidens all in white too, kind of a creepy way, like pagan females, like druids. Didn't all the druid women dress in white? Kind of like
The Luciferian ones did. The druids, they wore like animal heads and shit. They went and had bonfires in the woods.
But I mean,
It's funny. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that, I'm like watching the chat, and because we're talking about astrology, all of a sudden there's people that believe that space is fake. They're fighting now with each other. It's really funny.
Feel free to ban anybody.
I'm not gonna. It's all
Just
good.
so
I want people to hear
free
this.
discourse.
I'm not putting it on I'm not showing all this stuff, but I'm just watching it happen. And I think it's silly.
Space is fake.
Space is fake is one of my
Dude. All right, space is fake. You know what? Great.
Good
All
on
right.
you, buddy. Keep trying,
Dude,
You know,
you know
but
what?
Whatever. It's okay.
I just want to enjoy my life, man. I wish just. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to look at these files, man.
Yeah.
I want to be flying.
Yeah. If we can
Anybody
just
feel like
imagine.
reading this?
Let's do it.
Here, you want to go, Hans?
This is
Yeah,
EFTA 02731729.
Got it. But I'll just call people's attention, and this stuff again. I just noticed because when that picture with that gesture, because I did this mudra therapy course in India. Who knows the guy? So this is like fearless mudra. They create different psychoneurological frequencies. But noticing these are not normal gestures. Like the lady, she has all her fingers bound together. I mean, it hurts to do that, right? You're not going to be relaxing like that. And then left hand over right, all this stuff is not accidental. Okay. And it is going beneath. All this is unconscious. Right? We're not going to see it consciously, but they're doing the ritual stuff and they're saying, but to those that know, they're also just like the number channel, right? They're giving signals and codes to those that are in the know, or also those who have been conditioned or hypnotized that are receiving programming codes from that. So that's okay. Here we go. August 9th, 2021 at 2:07 p.m. Janine M. Christensen wrote, around 9:30 this morning, I received a call from a woman who now lives in blank, who told me she wanted to speak to me, said that Leon Black raped her violently years ago and has never told anyone about it other than her blank friend. In short, The details she told me about and what he did to her are almost a perfect match about what my client told me. He violently bit down on her vulva, labia, and clitoris. This biting would get harder and his teeth would clamp down the more when she yelled out in pain. The woman this morning basically told me the same thing. Same biting ritual, that she could not breathe. She was in so much pain. It is too abnormal to make up. She does not.
That's all we need to say. I mean, it's just so weird. That's the Leon Black guy right there that I showed you that's shaking hands with Trump. Right? What that thing is saying is that that's a confirmation of another story from the civil litigation files. Right?
And these are graphic violence.
So ritually violently biting down on some women's genitalia.
I mean, it's a ritual, but and she said
25 years ago.
But they're saying it's like a ritualistic. So something probably there's other things we don't even are not in that document that are going on, and there could be
the civil litigation documents are some of the most important documents in the entirety of. I sent them to you. They're most important documents in the entirety of the Epstein files because they're post arrests. So they're post arrest. They're what's coming in, and in the intro to those files that I sent you. There's something from Castle which ties back all the way to the early litigation against Maxwell by Giuffre, because Castle was involved in it. He's like a super lawyer, but he sent something to Bondi. There's a letter to Bondi saying, "Hi, I'm a victim representative. I'm helping one of 200 victims in their civil suits." It never made it to the media that there were 200 civil suits. And some of these civil suits, you'll never see the light of day. They came out from the Epstein files, but they'll never see the light of day because usually they're all done under NDAs and payoffs. And part of the exchange of money is privacy.
And
but
the civil suits happen when there is no criminal suit anymore, right? Because they're not criminally going after anybody, are they?
You can have criminal and civil suits simultaneously.
Okay.
The thing is that the criminal suits didn't happen because nobody followed up on all the stuff, the crisis intake stuff that I sent you. So these are a lot of evidence of people had to get on the phone and call the FBI and say, "I've got information regarding a crime." And I think it's actually perjury if you're lying. So those were things that were never followed up or prosecuted, right? We have Patel saying if there was anything in these files that showed something, you can bet on the spin of your hand or something. He said something like, "I would do it right away," but it never happened. There's only been criminal trials, to my knowledge, against Maxwell and Epstein. So it's one of these great cover-ups of a network. And the public narrative is Epstein's a pedophile and he's a bad guy and that's it. But not that there's other people involved. The civil suits show a different story of payouts, of massive payouts, like the U.S. Virgin Island, I think, for the abuse of people in the Virgin Islands, there were payouts in like tens of millions of dollars. So these are things that the information that can be garnered can be used by a prosecutor. So they've got somebody who's made testimony or made a statement that's what actually happened in the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell, is it came out of the civil suit that involved the 4 of the 6 charges, if I remember correctly, against Maxwell for perjury when she supposedly lied in her deposition to Giuffre. See, so that was used from the civil suit to go criminal. So these civil suits a prosecutor has the ability to use that in a criminal suit, and it just didn't happen. So it's like incredible. Like the cover-up, guys, is just absolutely enormous. Way bigger than Watergate. There's tens and hundreds of perpetrators walking around free who are involved in criminality going back decades.
And the thing is that you look at this, if you get ensconced in the legal system, right? You try to fight your way through it. It can take decades. Yes. And you're just, okay, here you go. Here's a payout. And then you just can't say anything. Right. And you just walk away and it's silent. Here's $20 million. For these guys, it's pennies.
Pennies.
It's like me giving a bum 25 cents. Go buy yourself a new crack pipe. I mean,
What are you,
seriously.
Joe Biden?
It's the cost of doing business. They probably just see it as like, hey, this is what I got to pay out.
Right.
This is what it's going to be.
So, speaking of Epstein justice or whatever, if you do you guys want to talk about this Epstein files, a list of people facing consequences?
I do.
Over,
I do. I just want to show one more picture before I get
Go
there.
ahead,
so I
take
can
over.
show-
Go ahead.
Watch this.
All right.
Because this is the unredacted picture that we saw of the mudra that Hans was talking about.
Oh, there she is too.
So there is Kushner, black, rando girl, not sure who she is. On the bottom, that's Rupert Murdoch's like third wife, next to Geffen, and who's on the left of Geffen? Ivanka Trump.
Ivanka, right? That's her name.
Oh my God, Ivanka.
And
what is she wearing?
All hanging out together.
What the fuck is she wearing?
Dude, this is like Ivanka looks like somebody from like Eyes Wide Shut or something.
Stepford
One of these
Wife,
yeah,
yeah.
I was Maiden or something like.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the way these people operate. There's something weird. Why would you wear that to I think this is the 2016 U.S. Open tennis match. Like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Why they're all wearing white too? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not normal. Like you don't wear white that much.
A lot of mysteries here, man. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, Sean. You can.
Okay. Yeah. That. Here, we'll put that. So this is from Business Insider, and it's a list going of the people that are. So it starts with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, stripped of his title. So you'll see that the justice is happening in other countries, not here in America. So, but the former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers took a leave from teaching duties at Harvard. So Kathy Rumler, Goldman Sachs' top lawyer, turned in her resignation.
Just to interrupt, I talked to a woman named Colonel Watkins, Towner Watkins, as she has a hyphenated name. She thinks that this is an intel asset and direct ties to an organization that starts with a letter C. That's what she said. So this would kind of like validate kind of the intel connections. Like this is, she has let's say this Rumler person has a very interesting background. I'll leave it at that.
Right. Right. There's probably, and this Business Insider is not going to bring that to the fore. So please speak up if, at any time. Goldman Sachs, top lawyer. Okay. And Goldman Sachs is sus right there. I mean, but anyway, she referred to him in an email as Uncle Jeffrey. Okay. So DOJ, showed Epstein advice on legal troubles, including lawsuits brought by women. She gushed over expensive gifts from him, including a $9,350 Hermes handbag. Hermes. All right. Okay. Brad Karp, high-powered corporate lawyer, resigned as chairman Paul Weiss. That doesn't make sense. Calling reports about his relationship with Epstein a distraction for the White Show law firm. He also stepped down from the board of trustees of his alma mater, Union College. Documents include emails showing he worked with Epstein to surveil a woman in a dispute with one of Karp's clients. He also visited Epstein's Manhattan mansion.
It's all Eyes Wide Shut, right? The surveillance and the mansions.
Right. Yeah. And he wanted to get his son a job with Woody Allen. Go ahead, Hans. Go ahead, speak up.
I would say like, the mythological aspects of this. So when I'm showing mudras, astrological convergences for events. These people believe in these things. They're activating epic fury, the Furies, right? Mythological, Hermes, hermeneutic, right? The whole thing with medicine, the twisted snakes, you know what I mean? So this is all interconnected.
Caduceus. Right. And Hermes, like they call it a mason jar because it's hermetically sealed. Nothing, it seals tight. No secrets get released. Yeah.
Wow. This is interesting. They're on a yacht. You can tell because You can see those little things they're sitting on. That's where they put the rope on when they go to dock.
Right.
But this is Wexner, who said he barely knew Epstein, Mandelson, and Brunel. Brunel died in jail. I think Epstein was killed in jail.
Right.
But this is like, they're hanging out at some place in the Caribbean. They're supposedly not friends, but they all suddenly just magically appeared in the old Caribbean together.
Looks like they're posing for a cover of a magazine or something. Like, it's weird that there's no women and drugs and champagne and stuff.
He's smoking a cigar. It seems to be a woman who's been redacted.
Okay.
But this is a full series of like 25 pictures. At one point, Brunel will get down and sit in front of them to make a circle, which is odd. But this is like direct evidence from the Epstein files of these guys like hanging out in a very casual. It reminds me of the meeting from Godfather 2, where they're all meeting. If you remember Hyman Roth and
right, they all went to Cuba, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So this is kind of like the Caribbean's the new Cuba. Like, let's all go there and we'll all have a talk where nobody else can hear us except for the monitoring stations and all the video.
Mountbatten had an island down there next to St. Thomas or whatever, and there was a submarine dock on Epstein Island, and so this probably goes along with the underground stuff, and that's why what's her face Maxwell was a submarine pilot. And there's pictures of, I don't know if it was Woody Allen or some crap, but they were going to into the dock. Oh, it was the scientist guy in the wheelchair, the what's his name? She was bringing him into the submarine dock, like into the island. That's how he was visiting.
What was his name?
He talks with a computer voice because he's got like ALS.
Right.
Everybody in the chat knows. Stephen Hawking, thank you. Yes.
If anybody gets a chance and is bored, you can listen to me talk to a great author who knows a lot about Prince Andrew too. His name is Andrew Lowney. This goes back to 2021 and COVID, and we covered his book, The Mountbattens, The Lives and Loves of Dickie and Edwina Mountbatten. Dickie was the mentor to King Charles III.
Right.
Mr. Great Reset and
Magic Circle.
Magic Circle, right? Goes into Eyes Wide Shut, and literally was like he liked teen boys. That was his thing. That was his addiction. So like he was always with hanging teen boys. That was
the whole family is steeped in that
rotten. It seems rotten to the core. I've heard rumors that King Charles III, or Prince Charles, when he was the prince, he was involved in a lot of stuff, and that there was no evidence like they had on Andrew. Andrew was more overt,
right? And
also his father was rumored to be involved in all the stuff that went down in the Profumo affair.
Right.
Actually, one of his rumors is like in one of these orgy parties that they had with Stephen, his last name I can't remember now, but the orgy parties, the literal king was rumored to be like he would dress up in a mask so nobody would recognize him, and he'd walk around naked in a dress or something, and he was rumored to literally be the king in these orgy parties, carrying like gifts and stuff.
Peter Mandelson.
No, the Queen Elizabeth's husband, the Prince of Edinburgh.
Right. Yeah.
The guy who's like not Mountbatten.
Oh, okay.
The father of King Charles and Prince Andrew was alleged. I'm not saying this but I think the author's name is Thomas, alleged to be involved in the Profumo environment.
Right.
Where they had this guy, I forgot his name. It's very important because it just shows the continuity of these scandals.
Right.
Because actually JFK,
it's another one just like Franklin and all the others, precisely. Like the pink ballets and all these
Intel girls,
Jimmy Savile too.
Right. The king, royalty, all this stuff. But that was the Profumo affair that happened in the early 60s. Actually dropped, I think, the prime minister's whole cabinet because it was so scandalous.
Right.
And it was like an influence operation, but I'm trying to remember the guy's name is Stephen something.
But I just want to call people's attention to England was the center of the witchcraft revitalization, right? So you have Margaret A. Murray, the Egyptologist and the great scholar, or decent scholar, witch cult of Western Europe, etc., who's cited by H.P. Lovecraft, by the way. Witch cult of Western Europe. But you have this is a revival of witchcraft. You have these things on, full nudity in Sunday papers in the 60s. It's normalized orgiastic rites, this and that. And you have these weird sacrificial murders, standing stones. You have Hammer Horror coming out all at the same time. But literally, the king of the witches, right? Witchcraft, Wicca, that was all founded in England.
Sanders, Gardnerian.
But it was all across the media. I mean, you have it in the cinema, and you have documentaries, and you have Sunday papers, normal newspaper with pictures of nude rich witches doing orgies. BBC is showing naked witchcraft orgiastic rites. Okay. And, and so this
Lucifer Rising and that whole thing.
There's a picture of Sanders with Sharon Tate before she was murdered in 68.
Right. And Sharon Tate was in a number of occult films.
Before
Rosemary
Raven.
Eye of the Devil.
Yeah, Eye of the Devil. Eye of the Devil. Yep. And that goes.
Do you believe in magic?
Right.
But what I just
she was a sacrifice too.
But there was there was a lot of people joining witchcraft. There were primetime television documentaries about it.
Year one, 1966. The
year zero. It's actually year zero.
Right? Well, LaVeyan Satanism started in 66 on Beltane, 1966 in San Francisco, right there, where they had Burning Man and that whole crap. Google. Anyways. So yeah, if you want to go back, we can go back to this. Peter Mandelson, London police on February 23rd arrested 72-year-old former government minister on suspicion of misconduct in public office, following search warrants of 2 addresses, including Camden. The description matches that of Mandelson. So after the DOJ's Epstein files appeared to show him forwarding sensitive government information to convicted sex offender while serving in senior posts. So that's also the reason why Mountbatten got in trouble. Andrew didn't get in trouble for buggering little kids, or whatever you call it. He's in trouble for trading state secrets, because of his blackmail or whatever, but they didn't get him for doing the immoral stuff.
They said he was a liaison between some military industrial stuff, and he went to some military show, and right when he got home, he texted information to Jeffrey Epstein within like 5 minutes. Wow. And they have a record of it in the files. So he didn't even wait. He's just like, yeah, this whole, military operation, blah, blah, blah. So wow. Same thing happened with Mandelson, who's implicated in also being kind of like a teen boy lover too, like on those care home type things in the UK. It's so corrupt, guys. It's just off the charts.
I mean, but it goes like when Hastert got in trouble, he was in trouble for doing banking without telling the IRS. Like he wasn't in trouble for abusing the child. They put him in jail for the finance crap. It's really weird.
And that's another example of a bunch of civil suits. I believe he was sued frequently for the abuse of what happened to the kids back in the day.
Right. And he kept paying them off. I
think so. Something like they had something on him.
Right. But he worked for Clinton. He was in there,
he was the head of the Congress, right?
Yeah,
Under
Speaker
Bush.
of the House.
Speaker of the House, thank you.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go make myself a cup of coffee. I'll be back.
That's fine. I'll keep reading here with Hans.
Reading with Hans. No, but the reason I'm bringing this up is that, nothing against the UK and the British Empire, but there is a very old occult history there, right?
Oh yeah, and France too. Look at the Paris,
Gilles de Rais. I think the practice of Gilles de Rais, right, went to England. Was part of the elite, and we've been living in this world that they pulled a veil over our eyes, and now the veil is torn away. And unfortunately, we're looking at, 3 weeks from now, what we're doing may not even be possible. I really hope it is. I'm staying in a positive flow, energy, whatever. But what they're doing with the world economy and just pushing everything nuclear war, Russia, China. I mean, what Trump is trying to do right now is friggin' destroy the whole planet and destroy America. I hate to say it. Send out your Secret Service team after me. But these are the people. These are the these disgusting people, and here we are, man. And England is a hotbed of this stuff, man. We're still under the British crown.
That's right. And we can think back to when we spoke to Robert Frederick about how, Francis Bacon was the jump off of all this stuff, this New World Order. Yeah. And here we go. Rosicrucians, Francis Bacon. Yeah. The chat's pretty smart. Some of them are pretty smart.
We have 660 listeners, guys. This is the most
Nice.
we've ever had. So thanks for everybody for tuning in.
We just want 6 more. Come on.
Yeah. We just bounced past. We're 675.
Awesome.
This is one of the other ones I did back in the day. This is 2020 with Douglas Thompson. His book is Stephen Ward, Scapegoat. They all loved him, but it went wrong. They killed him. It just shows how treacherous they can be. He was the procurer of the women, kind of like an Epstein for the perfumer affair. And then all of a sudden he turned up dead, and this is what he looked like. And he had a little bit of an American flair.
Dutroux was a procurer too. And the finders were procurers too. Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, my point is that this is kind of the one that's in England that, I think one of the girls out of the perfumer affair was sleeping with JFK, which was really crazy. But yeah, Christine Keeler was the girl's name. And then the movie this was about is called Scandal. So you can check that out. And this is the one that depicts the King of England, the Duke of Edinburgh, as a naked dude with like a gimp mask at these parties. So I'm saying like the whole British royalty is corrupt. That's really my point.
And they are the financial center of everything with their city of London, and that stone in the center of it that makes a 1 mile space that the Queen has to ask permission. Well, whatever, the king or whatever has to ask permission to set foot in that 1 mile space. It's like a magic circle or whatever,
It's the city of London, and I think it's called the Skane Stone or something.
Scone.
Yeah, the Stone of Skane.
Of Scone. Yeah.
Stone of Revealing or something like that.
Right.
But so everybody that is, which Western science, if it was totally cool, right? It's cool, I guess, as long as you're not getting genetically modified, as long as you're not using atomic particle research to try to open up interdimensional demonic portholes, right? But as long as you're not getting poisoned by microplastics or etc. But the thing is that, okay, you don't believe in this stuff. It's all just mumbo jumbo. City of London is the center of world financial activity. They have this ancient stone there. They have to swear allegiance to it. These are not just there's ritual and tradition, and there's ritual and tradition, right? It's tradition, after you graduate from college, you throw your hat up in the air. Okay. These are things that have power that are still invoked and still being done, and they still retain global power, just like all the architecture of the city of Washington, D.C., another Vatican City, Washington, D.C., Vatican City, City of London. These are all completely autonomous, quasi-government, planetary governmental organization systems.
And these are the same bankers from Venice, or the same bankers from Phoenicia, like these same Phoenician Canaanites that sacrificed their children to Moloch fires. It's really interesting how it all comes around full circle.
Venice is a root word of Phoenician, right?
Right. Yeah, Phoenician, Venetian, right? And that's I've been talking with Headless Giant. We've been doing some history shows. I think we've got 3 down so far, talking about Canaanite Phoenicians, how they started, and how they, like the phoenix, it gets destroyed, but then it bubbles up in a new place. It's just like the Sabbatean thing turned up again into Frankism, like it bubbles up again, and it's the evil, you know, child murderers. Like, I mean, they even had to, you know, anyway, I'm not going to go on, but that people should look into the history of these people. They're like rulers of the sea, you know. They have the best boats, and they did the commerce, and they were like the outsiders to Egypt. And um there's a whole rabbit hole of history that goes into that stuff, so people should check it out.
Yeah, here's the Stone of Scone being carried from Edinburgh Castle in preparation for its use at the coronation 2023 of Charles III. So he sat on top of that stone, which is right here in the chair, on that same chair. That supposedly ties them all the way back to the Middle East. That's the whole idea. It's like goes back to somewhere in the Holy Land.
But that goes to their the whole thing with the knights that went, the Knights Templar and those other like orders of knights, like the you know, the Order of the Golden Fleece and those other types of orders that would go out and be like mercenaries and for the power, you know. Kind of going pretty off.
The Knights Templar became the power, right? I mean, a certain way, right? So they got, basically in Jerusalem, they got access to all these documents, right? They learned the secret money magic of compound interest.
Right. They talked to Baphomet, right?
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, they literally learned the magical equations of, these were like, you know, occult secrets. You know, I forget the numbers. I'm not that much into math, but this thing with compound interest where like doubles or whatever.
Fractional reserve banking.
No, but there's specific equations that are like, have this, you know, they're like magical numbers, right? And they're ancient. And they rediscovered all these documents, you know, when they went there, you know, underground, and including all these like ritual stuff, magic stuff. So they became, I mean, Knights Templar were exceptionally powerful, right? They were shut down. Of course, a lot of them escaped to England. But this is
bubbled up again with the Rosicrucians and the Knights, you know, the new with Francis Bacon and all that crap.
It's one thing, you got a tradition, you know, of a life affirming tradition, right? I'm not, you know, of course I'm full, like totally in the tradition. There are things, a lot of wonderful things, right? You carry over from generations. You may not know what they mean, but like the Olympics, these are modern inventions. The Olympics are mass ritual ceremonies. Olympic halftime show, or Olympic whatever opening ceremony, Super Bowl halftime shows. Like look at, you know, the interlocking rings, right? Look at these interlocking circles, sigil magic.
Rings within rings, you know, the power system. But yeah, Hitler designed that, didn't he? For the Olympics in 30, I forget when it was, but Hitler designed that design.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He had the Olympics in Germany, and it was like the biggest deal, and everybody was so impressed, and he set it up. He basically set the tone for the Olympics. Anyway, so Casey Wasserman announced on February 13th that he is selling his talent agency after his name appeared in the Epstein files, sparking a growing fallout. Soccer player and Abby Wambach and singer Chappelle Roan earlier said they were parting ways with the Wasserman agency. He flew on Epstein's jet. Wasserman flew on Epstein's jet with a group of people that included former Bill Clinton. So if he knows Bill Clinton, he's a dirty guy. Like, the files also show Wasserman and Ghislaine Maxwell exchanging racy and flirtatious emails in 2003, well before police began investigating Epstein. Quote, Casey, I will be coming back to New York torn late afternoon, Maxwell wrote in one email. I shall be wearing a tight leather flying suit. Ugh. All right, so moving on. We don't need to. Okay, Peter Attia, Attia, the CBS News contributor and longevity expert, stepped down as the chief science officer of David Protein, a protein bar brand, no longer an advisor to the sleep technology company 8 Sleep. In the emails in the mid-2010s, Atia gives Epstein health advice that include crude remarks about women, and he said the genitalia was low carb. Howard Lutnick, I'm sure William wants to talk about this guy. The U.S. Commerce Secretary is facing bipartisan calls from lawmakers to resign after emails showed he planned a visit to Epstein's Island with his family back in 2012. Lutnick previously said he severed ties with Epstein. Sorry, guys. His former Manhattan neighbor, after first meeting him in 2005. He said, "My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again." I remember seeing the quote of him saying that. He told the New York Post last year. His wife and kids were only there for an hour to have lunch. Which
Just
doesn't
lived
really
right
say
by
much
him.
in
Yeah.
this business. Insider doesn't say so much. Would you like to add some more to that, William?
Lived right next to Epstein, bought his house next to Epstein for $10. So like indicative of some type of money exchange that's very non-usual. And then was in business with him. I mean, I think the records of the business he was in with Epstein are from 2012 or 2014. So I'd say that's pretty close things if you're both investing in the same company.
Right.
So, and there are all kinds of intake things about him involved with money laundering and things like, it was never investigated. But the fact that he's right there near to Trump, this is all the Epstein network, guys.
So in the Epstein files, there's a photograph of a dental chair with a bunch of paper mache masks, which I'm sure is very scary for a child who's on scopolamine and LSD and being tortured in the chair. Dentistry, SRA is very closely connected to dentistry because the dentist can be the handler, and all the kids have to go every 6 months, and then they're in the room alone with this person who knocks the kid out, or if they have to. Anyway, so one of the masks is Howard Lutnick's face, right? The paper mache mask.
Sure is. He's also pictured on the island with Epstein. There's a picture of them together. I don't know if you've seen that. But let me see.
He was only there for an hour with us. It's so silly watching these people.
It's just a joke. They're all lying.
Of course.
Here's a picture of like.
I just got a comment here. Somebody said Wally Tango said live next. Okay, you said that live. The building's collective address was 911.
Oh right, yeah. Epstein's was 9, and William was talking about how 9 was in that TV show.
Right,
but then
Gossip Girl.
Right, and the guy next door is 11 is the next one up because 10 is on the other side of the street. So
they'd love to wear white. Why? You know what I mean? Like how many times you just
they're
wear all white?
Luciferians. That's why, because they're the priests of light. The dark Satanists wear the black, and they think they're separate and better. They wear white, like they wear white at the Bohemian Grove too. It's like a higher up on the scale of evil. It's really weird. Like the white shines light like Lucifer does. You know what I mean? There he is. Yeah, Lutnick.
Secretary of Commerce, man. What a slime balls.
Right in there, yeah. Right in the pocket with
in the pocket.
The Trumpster. Well, whose pocket? I don't know.
Yeah. He was only there for an hour, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Trust them. They're all lying about everything, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's as bad as Dershowitz. I mean, Dershowitz was like, yes, I got a massage, but I kept my underwear on. My wife was in the other room. Like, okay.
These are just like transparent lies.
Right. So Steve Tisch, in 2013, Tisch, owner of the New York Giants, exchanged numerous emails with Epstein about women, triggering a review by the National Football League. The emails show Epstein updating Tisch on the women, including their ages, nationalities, and working girl status. So he's basically buying women from, it's like he's perusing what's for sale, I'm sure. That's it.
Wow.
you know.
All trafficking. It's just shameless.
Exactly. Yeah. Thomas Pritzker said on February 16th that he was retiring as executive chairman of Hyatt Hotels Corporation, citing poor judgment over his ties to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Just poor judgment, guys. Okay.
There's a mask. Whoa.
Let me see if I can find the picture of the specific room where all the masks are on. So if this is Lutnick, then who are the other people? Are
Right.
they all involved in like ritual abuse?
And then they wear that mask, and while the kid is under the influence of the drugs, and the mind control, whatever is being told to them.
And that's kind of a weird hand gesture, like the photograph, because you know what I mean. Like you just again note these things. Like hold your hand up like that. It looks like his hand is going through his head. Like that's an very odd picture.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's a professional photographer. I mean, what?
They take a million shots too. Whoever edited this had a lot to choose from. I'm sure.
No. I mean, there's some symbolic reason for that picture.
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
Or else he just like looks like
he's saying Humpty Dumpty fell straight off the wall. Yeah. Anyway, so can't put him back together again. All right. So in a statement published alongside a letter from Pritzker to the board, he said his responsibility as executive chairman was to provide good stewardship. I exercised terrible judgment in maintaining contact with them, meaning Epstein and Ghislaine, and there is no excuse for failing to distance myself sooner. Didn't talk about what he was doing when they were hanging out together. So the DOJ files showed. Do you want to say something?
But no, the Pritzker family they're the major funders of the whole transgender surgery stuff. I mean, billions of dollars. This fortune has gone into the whole thing, all gender reassignment surgery, transgender promotion. They're that without them, they never would have happened. They put, again, a massive fortune.
Wasn't his brother the governor of New Mexico or something? Was it
I think he's the governor of Illinois.
Illinois, right? Okay.
Oh wow, there it is.
So it's MAGA country.
The masks.
So the Lutnick is there on second from the left. So then who are the other guys?
Wow,
scary.
With a dentist chair. This is some dark stuff, man.
Yeah, dude.
Super dark. Wait till there's that picture of the ultrasound too, which is really strange. Like, why do you have an ultrasound on an island in the Bahamas? Like,
to get those sonograms so that they don't have to go to a real doctor. It can all be under the table,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Baby can be sold, or what else?
Yeah.
And what if the people are abused by some of these people, and then the people put the mask on?
Right.
Just like hypnotic program or re-traumatization.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Super dark, man.
Yeah. So DOJ files show decades of chummy communications between Pritzker, Epstein, and Maxwell, including after Epstein's prosecution. I am meeting Leon for a walk at the Louvre at 5:30. Of you are nearby, Pritzker wrote to Epstein.
That's kind of random. It's the way.
That's not the bad one. The bad one is Tom Pritzker, where he said he went to Afghanistan and got in a chopper and flew around and shot people at random. You hear that one?
Just like Full Metal Jacket. Get some. Just
the most dangerous game. Human hunting. That's, that's what, and this also is going on. I mean, people.
He said that it was like the highlight of his day to go out and shoot with the boys.
Wow.
Like that's what he was. Let me see.
He should be playing a video game instead. What's his problem, dude? Wow. These people are psychos. Like it's true psychopathy.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you guys don't mind, I just want to. We didn't hit this already, but we were talking about Black and that document you sent, William. This is, I think it's important because it goes through the whole point of this thing. I don't know if you want to read that. Can I read that just as that sort of?
Where is it? What are you putting up?
This is I can share it. This is document. This is document 1, 2, 3, page 4. Page 4 of the document you sent.
Okay. Which one is it? What's the
Traffic
title?
Sao Paulo 2.
Okay, let's see this one. That one. This one?
Yes. William, you want to read it? Go ahead.
No, I don't. I don't feel like it. I'm trying to find the picture.
Sean, go ahead. You're the narrator. Go ahead.
Here, it seems it's all right. I don't mind. Okay, so I can kind of see with this resolution here. I'll just go through this. So, redacted, date of birth redacted, was interviewed via video conference with her attorney Gloria Allred, Marianne Wang, and John Cutt. I present John Cuddy. Also present via video was Assistant United States Attorney redacted, Detective blank, and Special Agent blank. After being advised of the identities of the above listed individuals and the nature of the interview, blank provided the following information. Redacted was born in Manhattan. She grew up in the Upper East Side of Manhattan and finished her associate's degree. She currently cuts hair for a living and she lives in redacted. Blank met Jeffrey Epstein when she was in high school. She came back from boarding school and met a girl named Blank who introduced her to Epstein. This was around her senior year, 2003 to 04. At the time, Blank was attending Evangel Christian private high school. Redacted was going with another girl named Redacted. Redacted tells Blank, Redacted, that she goes to an older guy to give him a massage. Jeffrey Epstein, I'm assuming. So that's a redacted name. He may or may not blank, and that would be it. Blank went to Epstein's residence about 9 times between 04 and 05 and stopped going before she finished high school. The first time she went, she recalls going in with redacted name. Blank thinks redacted was there in the massage room. Epstein was lying down on the phone. They all started to massage him, and then they left Blank alone. Epstein then redacted. He says, "You can get your money." Epstein walks out. Blank gets money from his house lady, a Filipino woman. Blank then waited for a call because redacted gave them her phone number. Leslie, or the house lady, would call. Redacted met Leslie. She would call redacted the majority of the time. She would say, "Epstein wants to see you. Can you come?" On one occasion, Blank told Leslie she couldn't go because she had to stay after school and she couldn't come before 5 p.m. Leslie says to let her know if she can leave early. Leslie never asked how old Blank was. After the first visit, Blank would go by herself or with Blank, or continue to the next page.
Hey, I'm sorry. It was actually the page before about Black. And so I didn't want to interrupt you. You're reading so well. I'll just go through it real quick, just to show this is Black. I guess this is page before. DOB 51382 serial number Blank was interviewed telephonically on April 10th, 2020. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, Blank provided the following information. Blank was modeling when she met Leon Black in 2008. Blank promised Blank drugs. Blank manipulated and sexually abused Blank. Black used a lot of threats towards Blank, and she was scared of him. Black flew Blank to Jeffrey Epstein's home in Florida. Black told Blank that if she talked to anyone, he would tell her son she was on drugs. Blank was also at home in the house and wanted Blank to have sex with Epstein. It got to the point where they were yelling at Blank, telling her that Epstein had a sex addiction. Blank told Blank that Epstein needed to have sex with multiple people. And if Blank did not have sex with him, then something terrible would happen to her, and it would affect her life. Blank did not want to have sex with Epstein. She and Black left. Black ran a sex trafficking ring. Blank constantly tried to run away. If Blank fought Black, he hurt her Blank more, which means biting, right? Probably the biting thing. He hurt her, so it's blacked out. I assume that's the organ, right? The ritual biting. Blank thought that every sexual encounter Black had with her was non-consensual. Black told Blank that if she stayed with him, he would let her stay in the country. Black told her she should not think about work. Blank earned her bachelor's degree. So, anyways.
These are all consistent, right? So these are intake things. These are not actual. The other thing was civil litigation, but this is going to the FBI. It says it right there.
Yeah.
So somebody's receiving that.
Yeah, it keeps going. So he's running a sex ring with Epstein, raping her, running sex trafficking ring.
Talking about Harvey Weinstein too, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. And then
we have that famous picture of Epstein, Maxwell, and Weinstein at Prince Andrew's daughter's wedding. One of them.
And Maxwell's wearing the eyes wide shut mask, the feathers, like the domino mask.
This is from Tom Pritzker, June 6, 2011. You just mentioned him, Sean. Quote, I'm in a remote valley of Afghanistan. It's my birthday wish with the boys with toys. Spent time with Petraeus yesterday, and he loaned me a chopper, actually two, with one as a backup. Can't call till tomorrow.
Great.
So somebody's tied this date to like random deaths in Afghanistan, where the chopper just went through all the valleys, super hilly country, and was like randomly shooting people. I'm not saying it's Pritzker, but two events occurred simultaneously in time based upon the June 6th, 2011.
And they were selling murder tourism in Gaza for a while there. They were letting people shoot children.
And it happened in Sarajevo too. Like it's confirmed.
Right.
It's confirmed.
And in Italy.
It's a sick world, man. It's really gross. These people are totally evil. Evil.
Agreed.
Like here's the thing. We've only seen the redacted things yet. Like this is like some kind of cannibalistic crazy stuff. Like they're really that deviant.
Right. We haven't seen the videos.
What's in the 2.5 and what's in the videos?
Right.
I mean, I've seen stuff today that was redacted, but like the unredacted was like full CSAM. Like it was really like, whoa, that's in the files. Like I hadn't seen that, but it was like unbelievable stuff. Like Jeffrey Epstein was collecting some sick stuff. He's sick.
It's funny that like Kinsey was collecting all of people's like private sex histories and weird like blackmail type shit, and then Crowley was collecting people's sex perversion histories and shit, and it seems like part of that evil Kabbalistic shit to like bind people into their slavery, seems essential.
It's crazy. Look, I'm just taking this with a grain of salt, not saying this is true, guys.
Right. It's just your opinion.
Well, it's my opinion, but that's the stuff in the files. This one in particular, it's not me writing. This is people's voice. Epstein files reveal Bono ate African child meat at Hollywood cannibal feast on super yacht.
Oh, dude, with the cool sunglasses.
Of all people, he would be the
Bono,
one.
no, I can't.
Bono.
My last hero is going down. Bono, I worship you. Oh
In
no!
an email to Epstein, publicist Peggy Siegel bragged about facilitating the macabre dinner of a yacht hopping to the French Riviera during the Cannes Film Festival. Siegel described boarding 4 super yachts in a single day, from Epstein's 156-foot Lady Joy to Abramovich's Luna. No more, occult references.
So how is this shitty artist who's a fuck all?
He's related.
Conceptual artist. How does she have a yacht? You know what I mean? Come on.
Oh, you mean Abramovich? Oh,
It's different Abramovich.
No, that's probably the same. That you're
From
talking
Peggy Siegel, quote, "I am now officially the best yacht slut in the south of France. Went from your 156-foot Lady Joy to D. Guardiola's 136." This is how they brag. Like the size of your yacht is almost like, your penis size or something to these rich people. Audacia to Perelman's 256-foot C2 to Roman Abramovich's 350 Luna in one day. Had dinner on Luna with Roman, Dasha, Guy Osiri, Pigozzi, Jane Wenner, Ali, and Bono. What was I doing there? Had a magical time as Bono held court and told hilarious stories about Bob Dylan, Prince, who performed in Nice the night before, Van Morrison, and Pink Floyd on the way to Athens now. XOXO Peggy. Doesn't say anything about eating kids, though.
He's connected to the bloodlines of England, so his family is not Irish. Bono is connected to the whole shit, just like all the other guys that are connected to Vlad the Impaler and Obama and Brad Pitt are all related. It's all one big mass of inbreeding.
Yeah. Peggy Siegel says talks of black market babies, menu items, and a full-scale cannibal operation run through a chef specializing in human cuisine for the global elite. I don't know if these are true. God,
That's the problem with the AI.
The jerky or cream cheese baby stuff is real. Like there's so many babies, so little cream cheese. Like I've literally read that. Like,
but who? I mean, this is exactly where you have. Remember, like we are the world, we are the children. And they're. You're eating the world, right? They're all.
Well, it makes sense, right? You have to have that mentality to do it, right? Like,
right. And they, if you look into the occult cannibalism, they see it as proof of them being above in the social order. Like social Darwinism is proven by we eat them. The Sphinx is a symbol for that. It's a human head on a lion, the top of the food chain. And some of those evil people will hunt, like they'll kill an entire family of people coming over the border that are illegal, and just kill them all and freeze them and have them in their freezer, and they eat it all year. People should read Kurt Barker's book, Cannibalism, Blood Drinking, and High Adept Satanism. That's very informative.
so these are high adepts then. Is that what it implies? I would say
The high adept ones, the one that in his book was vegan the rest of the time, but the only meat that they ate was humans. And they would have a party, and on the table would be the person's name, telling a little bit about him and who they're eating. Very strange stuff. People should read that book.
Here's another one. Just strange letters, emails. 2009. Why is this redacted? There's nobody here. It's no CP. It's just weird code words. So this is probably an illegal redaction underneath the Epstein Files Transparency Act. But he's like, LOL. I don't know if cream cheese and a baby are on the same level. Why do you put those two words together? It's okay. There's still enough time today. I'm trying to schedule priming for 5:30. Fuel explosion at 9:45 p.m. We'll bring a new engine startup video. Response from Jeffrey Epstein. There are millions of babies, very little good vegetable cream cheese.
Wow. Vegetable too, like they're under, drugs, like their brains are fried while it's happening. And you were talking about earlier about how the way that the prosecution doesn't happen. The Utah SRA case that was a couple years ago. Now they don't even have a prosecutor for that case, and so they just let him go. It's not going to happen. That whole SRA thing. I forget his name. Derek Bros talked about him a bunch. People should
It
learn.
shows
about
the
him.
cover-ups. Like Epstein kept getting covered up and covered up and covered
Yeah,
up.
he was
The
let out of
network kept
prison
covering
6 out of 7 days.
let out of prison. Like they are getting information at Zoro covered up. Berman fired. This is a cover-up. This is a massive cover-up of the Epstein files. It's a massive cover-up. And this is just what people can ascertain. Like, it's freaking bad. It's so bad.
And there's like a random, I don't give you the wrong page, but this lady's talking about the guy that's, the driver's seat for causing World War III, right? About him. Let me see the page. I think it's 61. Called Incident. So the Donald Trump is the bottom of the paragraph. It says page 7 to 10, 60 of 79. See that?
This same one?
Yeah, I think we're on the
Well,
right.
you can go to the first page. Is that the first
No.
page?
This is 60, where it talks about Trump. Say page 60, all the way kind of towards the end. I think it's the same one.
Just shows you how much information was coming into.
Yeah, past the PowerPoint. It's kind of towards the back end. And literally,
these are the new so-called new Trump docs from Friday.
Unclassified, right? That's it.
Oh,
Yep.
I got to do more downloading again. Jeez, it's never ending, man.
So I think we're on the same page. Says page 7 of 10. Blank recalled at least one incident in which Epstein took her off the island when she was 13 to 15 years old. He drove her or flew her either to New York or New Jersey. She was introduced to someone with money. It was Donald Trump. Blank and Epstein were with others, to include Trump, in a very tall building with huge rooms. Trump did not blank from the get-go. He didn't like that I was a boy-girl, referencing a tomboy. Blank could not recall the identities of the individuals present. However, they all exited when Trump asked everyone to leave the room. Trump mentioned something to the effect of, quote, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put Blank's head down to his penis. Blank bit the shit out of it. Trump struck Blank and said words to the effect of, "Get this little bitch the hell out of here." Blank advised she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. He had money. It reeked off of him. At that point, people ran out of the room. No further information provided. Blank recalled a blonde, beautiful woman approaching her at some point. That day after her interaction with Trump, the woman said, "Let me give you a little tip, little girl, about your breasts. Wear a bra every night." These words stayed with her throughout the years. Blank got the feeling the relationship between Epstein and Trump included a certain amount of jealousy. She thought Trump appeared jealous of Epstein, but at some point they ended up on level playing fields. Trump and Epstein sometimes used the terms, quote, "fresh meat," quote, "untainted," and quote, "not jaded," while referring to girls. At the time she heard it, Blank did not understand the term "not jaded." She subsequently looked up the term "jaded." Blank stated she had two additional interactions with Trump, but she asked that the interview move on to a different subject for the time being. So I'll just leave it there. But I mean, keeps going, but that's pretty far out.
Hypnicity says she deserves a medal for biting down on that thing.
There's like 3 or 4 pages of that. There's a lot of Trump in here, guys. There's a lot of, and Epstein's talking behind his back a lot, talking with Bannon behind his back. So when he says, like, "I'm not in those files, but Wolf and Epstein are, he's just totally deflecting. It's incredible stuff. This happened today. Like, actually, the public is responding. There was a big march in LA. There's a big march in LA about the files. People were just randomly going out with signs going, hey, we got a major problem here, which is pretty surprising. This is Zoro Ranch.
Awesome. They're digging up the babies too, right? They're doing that investigation.
Yes, they really are.
So for the listeners, there's people standing at a vigil and there's flowers on a large mound of dirt. They're all standing outside. You hear the wind. Liberty and justice for all on one of the signs. And isn't New Mexico on the other side of that town, William, where all the women...
Juarez.
Yeah.
I just got a book on it, actually.
And Zoro Ranch is...
Can you read that? Murder City.
I can't read it. It's out of focus, but maybe if you look up the on Amazon,
in this document,
Murder City.
Oh, there it is.
Ciudad Juarez and the global economy's new killing field. So it's like ties right into Epstein. He's really part of the global economy. He has to be seen as that.
And you see, like, you go through these documents, you see Epstein had all these weird fetishes. He liked weird things being stuck up his rear end and all kinds of fetishes. Said he was abused as a boy, sexually abused. They're all like Kinsey, right? I mean, these are sexual psychopaths. I mean, and they are,
sadists. Right.
And these, I mean, the level of disaccountability has to be rectified, right? We cannot allow these fools to destroy the planet Earth, man. We cannot allow it. We cannot allow this.
This is what I thought. It's a bit graphic, guys, but I thought it was a pretty funny comedy bit. I hope you like it. You guys okay with a little profanity?
Yeah, my show is fine with that. Like, our listeners are good.
Okay.
Everybody that made fucking Windows 95 is fucking 10-year-olds! They're eating the checkout seats, eating the kids like corn on the cob! The news is like sulfuric acid in my fucking eyes! Every time I open the news, it's like, Trump dug up Harriet Tubman's bones and he's raping her ribcage. You're like, come on! This fucking guy! Thought he was going to make my eggs cheaper, duh! I watch ISIS beheading videos to calm down after I read the news.
That's the best line. I watch ISIS beheading videos to calm down. I don't know. Is the mass media really covering this story? Are they getting into the graphic details? Like, I'm so
they're afraid.
Detached from corporate media. I have no idea what they're posting on.
I tried briefly to watch some of the Democracy Now. Talk about it. Yeah, it was funny.
Terry Gross, all things considered. Like, I was so much like, I thought I'm so edgy, man. I listen to Democracy Now. I'm so deep. I know what it's all about. Yeah. I mean, I can't even NPR. Like, I can listen to NPR for about 1.5 seconds now. I mean, they all sound the same.
It's pretty bad.
There are other people covering this, like on YouTube, with a huge number, like standard stuff, like Young Turks, and they're covering some of it, and they're getting a lot of listeners from it. So I'm kind of wondering, like, I don't know.
Well, it's good. I mean, but YouTube is where they're housed. It's not on the main TV, Right. But what this guy is saying, I just wanted, before we let this go, we talked about this before when we were talking about the mind control, and Hans and I talked about it on my show, talking about the doom scrolling, and how it's trauma to us to see this. You know, he's talking about he would rather watch beheading videos because it's like such trauma, and they're shoving it in our face, and they're like, "This is the truth, man. What are you gonna do about it?" And it's like, ugh, it hurts our consciousness that, you know, people like Bill Clinton. "Oh, what do you mean? He plays saxophone and, you know, Arsenio Hall. He's a cool
It's
guy."
Bobo.
Right.
It's Bobo.
But I mean, like, you know, we have these image of these people, you know, like, and then all of a sudden the reality is so harsh and harmful to our consciousness. I think it's part of the programming. I think they need this to grease their wheels into their whatever their the magic working is of this World War III global death culling whatever.
Yeah, it's a death cult. It really is.
They need to humiliate us and like destroy our hope before they sacrifice us to their evil.
It's part of the sacrifice, right? You like work up the victim and then you kill him. Like it's part of the fun.
Or you make the
Yeah.
victim. So this is, you know, you have Gramsci, right? He talks about hegemony, you know, at one level, you know, and there is some valid thinking, right? In Gramsci, who was sort of the progenitor of the Frankfurt School and this sort of soft touch cultural engineering Marxism, right? But the idea is that the oppressor creates the island of oppression in the very mind of the victim, and the victim is fulfilling these rituals in themselves, in their family life, and this is, you know, what has happened in a certain way. You can see people with this streak of cruelty, right? I mean, I see it not every day. I mean, not that much, but I see people like really getting angry, flipping out, speeding, pushing, having flip outs, you know, this, that. I mean, and you know, and I've experienced it. Like people just suddenly, I get like 5 calls, people just screaming at me. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds all right, but it's not going to affect me because I didn't do anything wrong. Scream on, brother. I'm gonna go play my guitar. But seriously, like I've caught these things, and I'm not blaming most people, right? I just want people to understand that there are not only there we live in a social field. We live in an electromagnetized social field. This is unique in human history. Social media, cell phones, electromagnetic frequency resonant states. You can call human biofields, flocking effect, whatever, any kind of solar activity being magnetized, people flying into bouts of rage, things like that. And then people going into this and taking it into them and sort of saying, oh, that's okay. Why? Okay, it's okay what he did. Just that little thing is feeding this, right? And so, just, you know, understand, we don't need to freak out about it, but you can, if you start to notice this, you'll see it around you a lot, right? And it affects people collectively. And you can see this aggregate group behavior happening on a real mass scale. Like, I think they literally have swarms of people that are basically trigger controlled friggin', you know, automatons. I hate to say it, with the freak out level, right? But at the same time, give away your soul, give away this thing and say, it's okay. What can I do about it? And even, so what, you know, even he's okay, he's making a joke, but why would you watch ISIS beheading videos? Of course, most of those are fake. So that's
Right,
one of the
right.
thing to see. But we don't want to say is that like so much of the media, you can see all the anti-heroes, right? Even promotion of cannibalism, promotion of people that are doing evil, the destruction of the hero in literature and cinema, the anti-hero, right? And then just saying, no, just, it's okay. Just do it. Oh, try it, do it, you know, and it's that step. And then suddenly you get locked in. And the problem is right now, things are so amplified that even a small little gesture of relinquishment, right? You get a real big attachment from that. I mean, I think they're doing all this stuff, aggregate stuff, man. I mean, how well it works, I don't know. But I think we've all witnessed this, and you can see mass changes in mood in environment, right? And some of this is, You directed?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a
And
red.
look at how when the COVID was happening, everybody wanted to fight their neighbors about wearing a mask, but now people want to like bomb Iran and like kill their neighbors and like you like they're getting violent, you know, and then they see the violence going in with the doom scroll. So like it's part of the programming, I think. They're really whipping us up to a fury. Just like the Civil War and the leave the world behind. We talked about it last year. I mentioned that a couple times. But that programming is really pushed into us right now.
No question.
You guys can't handle this? What do you want, a Pixar movie up here? The world's ending!
There you go.
Fuck, man! Sorry for yelling.
Right.
I'm not a political guy. I don't talk about politics. Everybody that
That's a
made
good one. I'm not a political guy. I like to talk about politics. World
That's
ending! I'm glad you mentioned Gramsci because I did some research today for hopefully maybe it'll be our next show. But do you know who this is on the left here?
John Paul Sartre. No, John Paul Sartre
Nope.
was ugly as hell.
But do you see the gravestone?
He's Gramsci's gravestone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gramsci's gravestone.
Who's that?
Guy on the left's very important and very timely as considering the Epstein files and everything you really just said about humiliation and bringing people up into a fit. That on the left is a guy, an Italian, by the name of Pier Paolo Pasolini, who directed the film Salo.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay,
He's
that's
a fan
him.
of Gramsci.
Oh my God.
So, assignment for next week is Salo.
No.
So, yeah.
Oh man. I would
think
rather
that's it.
talk about Alex Gray fucking a corpse than that movie. Oh man.
But it's a protest. It's a protest about this kind of overarching.
Right. It's like
violent.
showing us how gross it is. Oh man.
But they bring people to a mansion and abuse them and kill them. That's what they do. They torture them.
William, for
and they
you,
take their time. They
for
have
you,
like
anything, William. We will do that show.
they have like a it's almost like an Eyes Wide Shut Ghislaine Maxwell wearing a mask, like directing the festivities, like that witch. Like, hey guys, this time we're doing this torture, and then we're gonna do this.
Well,
So they made like a ritual out of it.
They
Like that's the way he directed it.
They compare the children's a-holes, and they.
It's so brutal. It's the most brutal film. But I think like he was a pretty sensitive guy, like a poet. But I think that he really felt like this was really how it got.
120 Days of Sodom. Isn't that what it is?
It's
Yeah.
based on Marquis de Sade. Here's Epstein smiling with the Zoro Ranch, shirt, holding one of his victims like a piece of, like somebody getting ready to have their throat slit or something. Grabbing the hair and just holding it up.
If this is legit, somebody wrote Johnny Depp's and Marilyn Manson's favorite movie.
That wouldn't
Disgusting.
surprise me.
That really wouldn't. I mean, oh my God, dude.
Well,
I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
I'll
but
say
I have
those
to now.
Salo.
For my listeners, I'll watch it.
No, that film though, it makes you. Okay, I watched it. Serge said some time ago, but I mean, even in the beginning, they have the child market. It takes you there in an absolutely realistic manner, right?
This is what's happening.
It's not. This
Right.
is what it
This
actually
is
happens.
Epstein's
You gotta watch
network,
it.
guys.
Yeah, dude.
watch
we
In
have to
Epstein's
watch it.
network is Salo. And for people who don't understand what Salo represents, it's his critique of like fascism and Mussolinism. Because after Mussolini was rescued by Hitler, there was like a rump state that was really just run by the Nazis. And it was put in northern Italy in a place called Salo. And that's where Mussolini went before they finally found him and just strung his ass up like a sacrificial lamb and beat him to death. They all just beat him to death, he and his mistress. But he was kind of like almost their elite. He was very corrupt. He's Masonic, but also like, I wouldn't call Casanova like a rake, he's so strange. Mussolini's very strange. But Salo's, in context of what's happening now, Salo is very important because you can almost say the Epstein network is a global Salo, where they just treat people like kids like disposable. torture instruments. I mean,
And they take a picture of them and they put it up there for sale. This one, get this one, came from Ukraine, born in 1996.
name, digits, age,
Yeah.
look, brown hair, blue eyes, smart, dumb, stage
And
3.
Put a finger inside and talk about how tight it is. Like,
There was something where there was like an allegation that Trump did that to some woman, right?
Right. Yeah. And I thought she was an underage too, wasn't it? But anyway, Deb C says it's in the text messages between Depp and Manson,
Sure
which I don't know where to find those.
Should
But
find it somewhere.
those two are very disgusting. William talks about Johnny Depp and his friendship with the child murderer from West Memphis 3 there.
Damien.
Yeah, that. Their matching tattoos and all that crap.
This is, let's see, what is this? EFT A00249-131. And that looks like the kind of background of what New Mexico looks like, desert type scrub.
Look at it. Is he holding up her ponytail?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What does her shirt say? I don't know if she...
But it's like she's a cattle, like he's like
like
a horse.
Corrado Allegra. Anybody know translate that?
Corrado Allegra.
Man, right?
Corrado.
Alegre is the second word. Corrado? 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 I don't know. I can't tell. But this is like this is maybe a picture he sent somebody else. Hey, I got one.
Yeah.
This is my next one.
And he's like holding her hair like
maybe this is like one of the victims.
An animal.
They buried out there. Because that's what Hank Harrison said. I think I showed you guys that one, right?
No, you didn't.
I never showed you the Hank Harrison song?
No, Hank Harrison. No, you didn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right. Get ready.
Hank Harrison is in Epstein files.
Hank Harrison is not. Hank Harrison was mentioned in another file by Kirby Summers with an O, Sommers. She mentioned that something was sent into Facebook. She confirmed this actually before she got pissed at me for not. She got pissed at me for not. Like the war started. I didn't get back to her on time. She thought I ghosted her. So now we're trying to arrange something for April. Anyway, anybody feel like reading this?
Corrado Allegra translates from Spanish to English to mean I ran cheerfully.
Oh, that's appropriate. Oh,
wow.
Thank you. High
real?
View 4876. That was one of the comments.
Wow, that's even worse. Well, read this now. Anybody want to read this? This is confirmed by Kirby Summers, not by me. Kirby Summers has done a lot of research on Epstein.
I'll go ahead. Since my daughter was in Epstein's Black Book in 2003, and since she bragged to me about how she was procuring victims for him, I think I have a right to speak with some authority here. The crimes are 10 times worse than 100 times more numerous and more degenerate than you can imagine. The New Mexico Zoro Ranch is bad, but when victims were worn out, they would simply be taken to the desert and buried or taken to sea, weighted down and dumped overboard. The ones who survived are lucky to be alive. We are talking multiple slave murders here. Clinton did not procure slaves. Trump did. Google me before you reject this comment. From Hank Harrison.
Zoro Ranch is the mansion from Salo. I think that's the best place to kind of bookend this. Call it quits.
Yeah.
Anything you guys like to add? People can check out my stuff at William Ramsey Investigates podcast. All those other old shows, Stephen Ward, Mountbatten, you can listen to. Lowney's an expert on Prince Andrew too, so check out his books. And then my books are on Amazon, and I post a lot on Patreon these days. You can watch my stuff without any ads.
Awesome. Thank you, all the listeners. We've got over 900 live listeners watching. thank you so much for being our guest today and being so lively in the chat. It's funny to see. And thank you, William, for being our guest. And thank you, Hans, for being your co-host and guest. We love to have you both here at Wake the Dead. And please, everybody, visit WilliamRamseyInvestigates.com and visit The Resonant State, where Hans is posting everything. And be sure to subscribe and see what he puts out. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, people want to have a bad day. You can research the 100 Days of Sodom by what's his name?
Marquis de Sade.
Marquis de Sade and or Salo and Pier Paolo Pasolini, who met a very interesting and suspicious death at a beach, who his own life is very interesting, Pasolini's life, and his own literature, and as a literary figure, he kind of gets a bad rap because of Salo, but it's very out of the ordinary of his other artwork, which is very kind of like character driven. But I think he was really thought that this was accurate. And I think he's right. This stuff happens at these mansions and we don't see it. So Eyes Wide Shut, Salo, and Epstein files all rhyme. There's no question about it. So if you want to meet us next week at the same time, 5 or 6 Pacific, do some research and then come armed with some knowledge, and we can go through it all, because Salo's an important film.
Maybe I'll try to make some screenshots instead of having to play clips.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he was assassinated for that film. I mean, really, because I think, at least my understanding of him and his career, he was sort of, up and coming. He probably was invited. He saw this firsthand. He got an understanding and said, I'm going to make this testament against this. And then that, but it is a heavy duty film. And of course, Marquis de Sade, if you read his actual writings, they are, they're very, very hardcore. Okay. Marquis de Sade is not, whatever.
It's not for the weak of heart at all.
It's not for the weak of heart. I've got the
lot
whole
of
complete writings of Marquis de Sade.
stuff.
Yeah. It's
Body
hardcore.
fluids, like Crowley level type stuff. Like, wow, like really rough. I think that the thing about his death too, Pasolini is it's like during the years of lead. So a lot of cultural violence was taking place in Italy at the time.
right,
So,
with Franco.
and he was at a beach and supposedly got ran over, and they never found the guy who perped. And I can't remember the whole story. It's vague, but like he had a very suspicious young death at 53. And I have video of him. You can watch him. He's like, I love life. Life is so great. I just, really think that I'm really happy. And, here he is. Let's see. This is what he looked like. Let's see if I can bring this up. But you just see, like, this guy's, I think he was gay, but he's kind of like an artist. Like, he really I think he saw himself as an artist. Let's see if I can bring this up. Give people a little.
So Trophy says, I read de Sade at 15, wish I hadn't. Dude, legit. I'm like, I've been trying not to watch that movie.
Je l'ai filmé en 16 mm muet, et ailleurs, on a parlé autour d'un micro.
Je parle en
En
italien.
français, hein?
En français.
Tu essayes, hein? Qu'est-ce qui te frappe à New York?
What strikes you in New York? Poverty. You should visit Cleveland. Ugh. Anyway.
There's a sinkhole going, man. Cleveland sinkhole. Huge sinkhole downtown Cleveland.
Dude, I'll have to look that up next.
There's no difference between reality and fiction. So these are important statements to make in the context of
we were
story.
talking. Yeah.
Because cinema is reality expressing itself through itself. That's powerful.
Dans la réalité, je peux photographier un homme qui promène
In reality,
dans la
I can
rue,
photograph
il
a
n'a
man
pas
walking down the
conscience
street.
d'être-
He's not aware that he's being
filmé.
filmed, and this
Et
is
ça, c'est
reality.
la réalité. Si je choisis un
If I
acteur
choose an actor to
pour
play
faire
that
cet
man,
homme-là, alors il y a une
then
autre
there's another
réalité. La
reality,
réalité de
the actor's
l'acteur, c'est
reality.
toujours la réalité.
But it's
C'est
always
jamais
reality.
fiction.
It's never fiction.
Vous savez, je prends toujours un acteur
I always take an
pour
actor
ce
for what he
qu'il
is.
est.
I don't like
J'aime
him
pas
to
qu'il joue.
act.
Je ne peux pas prendre
I can't take a
un
good
homme qui est
man to
bon
play the role of
pour
a
jouer le
villain.
rôle d'un homme mauvais. C'est impossible pour moi.
It's impossible for me.
C'est
It's
comme
repulsive.
repugnante.
I always think about cinema as an audiovisual reality, and dialogue is part of reality and part of the image. The other day you said you're a Marxist who is missing faith. My relationship with religion is so dark, I can't talk about it.
Look at the masks and stuff and the hypno stuff. Wow.
That I don't have any film education. I approach movies at 40. So my culture is more figurative than cinematic. So you make extensive use of images of the Christian religion. It's not images of the Christian religion, but of Italian paintings. Little by little, I abandoned my obsession with images. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with this aesthetic. So I have to take a shot with some love a painter for his painting.
Sur ce plan flou, ciao, Pier Paolo Pasolini.
So he's a thoughtful guy. This guy's like, yeah, but he's also interesting statements there because he's saying that reality and fiction are not separate.
Right. So everybody that Salo was real, like basically.
I think that you can extrapolate that for sure.
Yeah.
On
just to say, like his murder, he was discovered in a wasteland, severely beaten, partially burned, and run over with his own car, and his testicles were crushed. His face was completely mutilated. So it was a brutal, like burning, crushing, like multi-death type of killing.
And somebody's angry. Yeah.
Making an example of him for others to see.
We have evidence of like modern stuff under, I forgot the prime minister, but he had these bunga bunga parties, and then the girls would be there, and it'd be like, blackmail. It was associated with propaganda. I can't remember the prime minister now, but I see his face. But a lot of those girls ended up dead or poisoned. Like there was one, like, I ended up dead, I was killed, and then she got poisoned and died. So.
Però quella acculturazione, quella omologazione che non sono riuscito assolutamente a ottenere, il potere di oggi, cioè il potere delle civiltà di consumi, invece riesce.
The homogenation is easily achieved by today's ruling power, i.e. consumer society.
So fascism didn't attain it, but consumer society did. Wow.
It destroys the variety of ways of being. It deprives of reality the different lifestyles that Italy has produced with great variety throughout history. This acculturation is actually destroying Italy. I can tell you that the real fascism is the power of consumer society that's destroying Italy. It's happened so rapidly that we haven't even noticed over these last 5, 7, 10 years. It's been a sort of a nightmare in which we've watched the Italy around us be destroyed and disappear. Now perhaps waking up from this nightmare, we look around and realize there's nothing we can do. And he didn't even see the Epstein files.
Well, and so like even like say, Guy Debord, Society of the Spectacle, and this, or Baudrillard, Simulation and Simulacra, like these are people connected with. Okay, Gramsci is not an innocent per se, but people. So it's not like you say, "Oh, everything Gramsci is a leftist. Everything he says is bullshit." No, I mean he has some very acute and analytical stuff, as does Guy Debord, right? And I think some of these, even though technically he's a Marxist or whatever. Again, how many people understood what Marxism was? I mean, now we understand. If you look at the surface, it sounds good, and there's some very high level intellectual analysis, right? And so it's important to just throwing that out there because you do get some of this stuff. Yes, Gramsci was, a massive influence in world history. Okay, and the Frankfurt School was because of Gramsci. I mean, this idea that the direct revolution is going to work, we have to infiltrate the culture. Now, other side of that, though, is this critique of culture itself and understanding how this is shaping reality, et cetera. So, And so I just throwing it out there. But the fact is that when he says cinema creates reality, I mean, we do. How many things we don't think they're real till you see a visual image, until you see it on a screen. You could see it in front of you. It's not real until you see it on the TV. You could watch it happen. No, I have to see it on the TV, right? As seen on TV.
Remember in the Desert Storm, they had these smart bombs going down, and they had like a camera on the bomb as it goes down the chimney and explodes. And that was like on the news at the bar, just this like green, like night vision stuff with all these bombs, like just constantly. It's part of the doom scroll that I mentioned earlier.
I think that he found it. You see like the hopelessness, like we can't get out of it now. So you see this kind of doom mentality even before the internet. Before you could scroll, he felt like, can we get out of this fascistic consumer society? It's also interesting that he also said, I didn't make it to cinema till I was 40. So he's dead at 53. And I think it shows his literary bent. Like he's, there's pictures of him in his library. He's writing, he's a poet. He's really kind of a literateur. Italian literature who got into film later, but I think it's an important aspect of his work to realize that before you get to Salo, because people interpret Salo as this overly kind of like it's
just shocking.
Yeah, it's
gross,
like shock.
right.
It's like at first glance, you're right, Sean. It's like at first glance, it's like a shock horror film. Like, whoa, this is way too much. And then you're like, are these people really capable of that kind of evil? And then you're like, I think there are people like this. Like
now the Epstein files has like tempered the water. Now we can fathom this understanding. Yeah. It's really bad.
See Eyes Wide Shut and Salo in a different light, I think.
And see it as something that's actually happening, not just as a freak out horror film.
Right.
But one thing
it wasn't just Epstein; there are a bunch of them.
Yeah. But one thing I really miss, if you guys remember this, like orange, like the terror alert. Today, their threat was level orange, level red, level green.
Oh yeah.
Remember everybody forgot about that, right?
Never forget.
Now I'm just like I'm so sleepy all the time. I need some like stress. I mean, come on. What's a terror threat today? Then we have COVID threat.
Yeah. They were selling parachutes to people that worked in high-rise buildings. I mean, it was really, they were pushing that fear hard.
Level orange, terror level red.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
Okay, let's wrap it up. I gotta go, man.
Everybody. Cheers. Thanks for everybody for
listening.
Thank
you so much, everyone.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Thank you.